Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I'm your host, the Ranting Monkey, and I hope you're having a good day. Hope the Monday finds you well. It's the beginning of the work week. Well, not really, right? Not anymore. We don't do that anymore. So it's the beginning of what would have been your work week, or if you telecommute, it's your beginning of the week. Everybody else is getting to feel what it's like to be monkey these days, except for without the crippling pain. You guys might have crippling fear, because I'm understanding today that crippling fear has become the biggest problem with Corona. Okay, maybe not the biggest problem, but it's certainly a problem. And I saw some ridiculous shit earlier. I tweeted about it last night. This guy, Ari, what's his nuts? What the hell's that dude's name? I'll pull it up in a second. I'm doing things in the background here that I should have done before the show. My bad. Y'all know how I am. Least professional monkey on the internet. Where's this asshole? Let me find him. What is his name? Yashar Ali. That's his name. Oh, Ari. That's not even close, monkey. Well done. Well done indeed. But Yashar Ali. He has this Twitter thread, and in it he talks about how horrible things are right now for you little people. He counts himself amongst the privileged, you guys. Amongst the privileged. I'm one of the privileged. He's like the Batman of privilege. I don't know why I'm making him sound like Batman, but that's his thing. Yeah, I'm one of the privileged. There's lots of people out there who are suffering right now. Like this lady who I eat at the same diner every day, and she's always my waitress. And I always tip her really good. But she's desperately poor now and has no job. And he tells this long-ass fucking ridiculous story about Miss Paula. He names her. He says, look, she said I could use her name as long as I didn't use her last name. Mr. Ali, how hard would it be to figure out where you ate breakfast every morning for fucking years at a time? I'm going to track down this Paula, you stupid motherfucker. Jesus, why didn't you give her a fake name? You didn't need to use her. If that's her real name, you're a dick. But here's the thing. So he tells us this story about how she's this great woman, and I don't believe she's real. Anyway, well, let's see. You know, I'll throw the whole thread in here so you guys can read the whole thing, but I want to skip down to where he starts seeing that part, because we're talking about this part. I hesitate to tell you about just one person I know because I don't want people to think that I am new to understanding how we treat the working class. It's what I focused on policy-wise in politics, and don't want to give the impression that I am fetishizing someone. Well, you kind of are. But I think it's important that people understand how dire the situation is, and a woman named Paula illustrates it in a very heartbreaking way. For years, I've been going to the same place for breakfast off and on. When I'm there alone, I like to work. I'm a lot like the Jack Nicholson character in As Good as It Gets. How come none of these people are, he's Jack Nicholson, you guys. I'm a lot like that Jack Nicholson character. I order the same thing every time, and I like ordering from the same waitress. I'm not mean. I don't know why he has to throw that in. If you have to say you're not mean, you're probably a douchebag. That waitress is Paula. I have ADHD. I'm sure you do. And she got that I could get distracted easily. Should I even stop and bother here? Look, dude, yeah, most of your waitresses are not going to get it. Even if you actually do have HD or ADHD, they're not going to get that you get distracted that easily because they don't know your whole medical background, you fucknut. It's not them being rude to you or anything. It's them trying to do their job and going, oh, this dude's sitting here. I need to take care of his needs because that's my fucking job. You could very easily go, look, hey, yeah, I appreciate any attention you give me, but I get distracted easily. Could you just, I'll call you if I need something. You can be very nice about it. You don't have to be a douche. But I'm Jack Nicholson. After working for the same restaurant for 20 years, Paula's out of a job now. It's not like she can go get another job. There are no jobs. She's a single mom and she takes care of her parents. She said I could share this as long as I don't use her last name. Again, douchebag. Why wouldn't you change her first name? I hate these people. Paula now has no income. She told me she's becoming more terrified every day. Over the past 20 years, she managed to save $46,000 while raising 2 kids and sending money to her parents. Good morning, beautiful. My wife she's standing over there looking pretty. Where are we at here? In August, she gave her life savings, $46,000, to her daughter so she could attend her first year of college without loans and without the need to work full time. Paula now has $1,100 to her name. She feels guilty about that, given her former colleagues are struggling. All right, let's stop right there. Paula's been a waitress for 20 years. She raised 2 kids. She's still raising 2. He told us up above, she's got 2 kids, man. One of them's off to college, and I guess one of them's back now. But, how about you save some of your money and tell that little brat to get a fucking job? I know that's not right? Paula suffers from being way too kind. When I read this, I put onto Twitter, none of these posts are true. And a couple of people were like, oh, that could be true, monkey. That sounds true. Yes, it sounds true. You know why? It's written to sound true. This is garbage. This is made up bullshit. Isn't it weird that she just so happened to save the exact amount she had to give her daughter for that first year of college? The exact down to the penny amount? Don't think about it, guys. Don't think about it. It's also interesting that she's got 2 kids. She's been working in the same spot for 20 years. How do you think them kids is? At least one of them's 18. And again, that's not to say she's not helping them out or anything. But this is just such a perfect story for the situation. Now, as I said, I threw the link in the chat earlier. But he goes on to talk about how Paula, after some badgering from me, she admitted to me she's only eating 1 meal a day. Do you guys have that kind of relationship with your waiters? Where you have a discussion where you can badger them when they're not working and find out how much they're eating every day? I don't even know my waiters based on more than thank you. See you next time. Maybe I got to be privileged like Ali here. Maybe I need that kind of privilege in my life. So my waitresses call me up when I'm sitting home at Corona and they're still trying to take my fucking order. Those of you who told me that this story could be real, I have bridges to sell, and they are wonderful bridges paved with gold, side to side. Now this is special monkey and gold that can only be seen by me, but it's a really nice gold bridge that I'm willing to sell you. James says only the Waffle House one that I was banging. Well, there you go. That's is this based on the film called As Good as It Gets? Well, Miles, he mentions in there that he is a Jack Nicholson-like character. Or Nicholson. Yeah, Nicholson. I always get Jack Nicholas and Jack Nicholson confused because their names are just too alike. The Joker, that's who we're talking about. He actually referred to himself that way. He gives you the clues that he's making this shit up. But anyway, he goes on to, she told me she's only eating 1 meal a day after I badgered her. All right. Well, he goes on and on. Now, I don't want to be too harsh here because one of the things he's doing is suggesting giving. And there's nothing wrong with suggesting giving. This is a good time to give. For the record, you could give to me. I'm a poor guy who sits at home all the time and crippled. And my waitresses like me, and they call me and tell me that I'm not eating enough. Something like that. But anyway, there's nothing wrong with telling people to give. There's nothing wrong with suggesting charity at this time. He's really mad that the federal government didn't do more and that the checks are going to take a couple of weeks to get here. He's very, very upset by that. But to make his case about how dire this is, how dire it is, she can't just go get an unemployment because, well, she has nothing to do all day. Some people don't know how to get unemployment. Well, damn. If only she had access to a computer or a telephone. Man. You know, like the one you say she's, I'm guessing, emailing, unless she's coming by your house. He didn't actually say that. He had talked about how he has his DMs open and how people have his phone number. So maybe she called him. Maybe him and his waitress are on such a good terms. She calls him at home at night to talk about how little she's eating. Thank you so much, Drew W. Says, last $2. I'm skipping my meal today. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. I will have your meal now. But he suggests this. But how about this, Mr. Yashir Ali? Tell her where she can go. Tell her where she can go down to the local unemployment office. They have a form right there that they'll give you to fill out. They'll answer any questions for you. And yeah, I realize we have a huge influx of it right now, but you got nothing better to do, right, Paula? So anyway, he goes down and look to the replies to this tweet to understand how scared and worried people are about their ability to find food. They don't need you to give them a loaf of bread. They need cash, money, and they need it today. So I went and read that thread. Bearcock, thank you. Here's your $2, you crippled beggar. Love the show. That wasn't a beg. I offered to sell you a bridge if you'd prefer. I mean, I'm just saying. Anyway, you go down to this thread, and it's a thread of his, and he asked in his thread, I know this is a difficult thing to talk about, but I think it's important for people in power, lots of them follow me, to be honest, to understand how bad this crisis. I'm guessing he forgot a word there. Question, have you begun to cut back on food or eating due to financial concerns? Are you eating less now so your kids can eat? Now, we'll tell you this. As somebody who's actually been poor long before coronavirus ever happened, especially when we were young, and I know my parents did this as well. There were times, yes, we ate less so we could make sure the kids had food. It's something that happens. And it's something as a parent, yeah, you probably should do for your kids. You shouldn't starve yourself. But yeah, that happens from time to time. But I bring this up because I scrolled through, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 responses from this. And I'm going to give you a guess real quick. How many of them were from people who couldn't afford food because of coronavirus? Take your time. Take just whatever out of 20, 30, or 40. Pick whichever one of those you want. How many of those were people who couldn't afford food because of the situation right now? Now, I say the situation right now because there was one lady on there who said due to her partner getting cancer a few years ago, 3 years ago, actually, that she's only lived off one meal a day since. I don't know why, but she was the only one who mentioned financial hardship. The only one. All of the others, literally all of the others, if they talked about it at all, other than trying to like say Trump sucks or something like that, they were there to tell us they couldn't find food. Not that they couldn't pay for it. They couldn't find it. And I'm guessing Mr. Ali, I mean, he was too busy on the phone with Paula to actually read the replies to the thread he was talking about. How about this, Mr. Ali? How about this? Instead of pretending you're Jack Nicholson, which one is it? Nicholas, right? No, Nicholson. Jack Nicholson. Yeah, that's right. God, why do those two names have to be so close? And why do I have to like both golfing and movies? I blame the Jacks. How about this? How about you just say, hey, guys, maybe give. There you go. Done. You don't have to make up bullshit stories or point to your own fart huffing thread that doesn't even actually make the point you're trying to fucking make, you douchebag. Lots of influential people, they read me. Oof. Could you have jerked your own dick any harder than that? Lots of influential people read me, to be honest. I wish I could be that influential. I wish I could be so influential that other influential people read me. A lot of them. Maybe I need to get me some ADHD and a good waitress. It's just, for fuck's sake, you don't need to lie. You don't need to lie. You can tell real stories. Or how about this, Mr. Influential? You don't even pay attention to your waiters, you fucknut lying piece of shit. How about this? How about you just say people could use help, donate where you can? There you go. The end. And do it over and over again. Come on, you're an influencer. I am dangerous, but other influencers don't watch me. Unfortunately, to be honest, a lot of influential people do not watch me. A lot of influential people have never even heard of me. Johnny Hellcat, thank you. It's a close call. One jack uses a 2-iron to move further down the green. The other uses it to remove windshields. Fair enough. I've always had trouble. Even you guys know my trouble with names, but those two my entire life have given me problems because Nicholas, his golf career was pretty big when I was a kid. Wasn't he 70s, 80s, sometime around there? And his name just started showing up, and Nicholson at the same time. Like, wait, which? Who? What? So as I'm getting to know pop culture, they both are in the news. I'm like, I can't take it anymore. But yeah, it is a well-painted story. If you're the Paula story, I mean, is a well-painted story. If you're easily suggestible, like I said, I have these wonderful bridges, and by the way, these bridges will help support this girl I know named Paula who doesn't exist. It's going to help her get her one-legged cat the chemotherapy it needs to go to college. It's a great thing for everybody involved. My non-existent friend Paula has a cat with 3 legs. Don't worry, it's got one little attachable leg for that 4th slot, so it still makes the right thumping sound when it runs. But it needs chemo to get into college. And if you don't send me money, I can't give it to make sure that cat gets into college for free. We don't need to lie at this time. This is the problem. This is the problem right now. There's so many people out there telling the scary story. Not a single fucking one of the people he asked to give him these stories gave him a story about, and there was even a thread in there. There's even a fucking thread in there, or sorry, a post in there with somebody going, all of you people who say you can't find food, you're missing the point of this thread. This is for people who don't have money to get food. Like, yeah, jackass. And look, that's not the problem. Is it a problem? Of course, but those people had problems beforehand. Oh, that is one smart cat. Well, he needs the chemo to help him get in. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. This is some virtue signaling nonsense. It literally is. I'm influential, and I'm going to use that influence to help the poor, to help the poors. This guy, by the way, I believe is a socialist piece of shit. Yeah. Can we just let the virus be and just burn the world down and put us all out of our misery? No, Lisa, I like my misery. Thanks. I enjoy my misery. You know what pisses me off? People who can financially afford a shutdown or will keep their job, criticizing people who can least afford the shutdown. Criticizing how? Because there's, is the cat or Paula Republican? James, they are both completely apolitical. They happen to agree with you on whatever your politics are. It's weird. And they mean it sincerely when they say it. Yeah, you should hear the cat talk about it. It's interesting. I don't want to get to a place where we're telling people you can't criticize people, because you can criticize people. Lots of people make stupid decisions all the time, and it should be pointed out. Or, excuse me, I had to sneeze there. There's nothing wrong with pointing it out. If you're just criticizing to be a dick, then sure, that's not right. But this isn't. We're not at the Great Depression yet. People lost their job during the Great Depression and stuff because there weren't jobs to have. Businesses closed down due to financial hardship. We were in a great time of prosperity, and everything. The government thought, "Oh, we got to close everything down because people are going to get sick." At times of prosperity, you should save up, and like Paula here, who gave away all of her money in August. By the way, she just did that in August. She just gave all that money to her kid to go to college, so her kid didn't have to get a job. I couldn't believe that part. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? When you're talking about you're trying to sell me a sob story, and your sob story is she gave away her life savings to her child so she could go to college without having to get a job. I'm sorry, without having to work full time. How many colleges can you pay $46,000 to get room, board, and tuition free, especially, or well, not free, completely taken care of in state? I'm really curious about that. So I'm pretty sure that would take care of 2 years at almost every university in Michigan, in state. But that was for a year, so they didn't have to take out loans or work full time. Shut up! Let the little motherfucker work. When did working for things become such a bad thing? I'm sorry. If that story is true, Paula, you're an idiot. You're a fucking moron. You slaved away for 20 years taking care of your children, and you took every last dime you had and gave it to your child so they could be spoiled going into adulthood. Good job. Good job. And still going to need to either take out loans for the next 3 years, or at least the next year, to get the second year of education if they're only going for the associate's degree. They're still going to have to do it, and left yourself in a horrible position for any kind of slowdown. Good job. Anyway, mine, that would be about 2 years. Yeah, almost everywhere I can think of. Now, Serenity, the only way I can think of that using a full year of tuition or a full year of college would be if she's living off campus and living it up. If her daughter's, got her own apartment instead of in the dorm and living off the food card that you get from the school. Yeah. Anyhow, phew. I just saw that, and I was okay with it. I mean, it was stupid, and I was going to talk about it anyway, but the two different people were like, this story could be true. No, it can't. It can't. It's a lie. And if you believe it, you were lied to, and you should probably be a little bit more skeptical of people, because that story is so fucking fake. It belongs on CNN as a news article. People are concerned about the shutdown, losing jobs, being able to feed their family. The journos, celebs who will keep their jobs then say, we must shut down. Think of old people. Yeah, that there were a couple of people in the comments to Yashar, however you say his name, Ali's post. They're like, well, maybe it wasn't such a good idea to shut down the whole fucking economy, huh? The weird thing, I named this week 2. This is officially, as of 11 o'clock this morning, week 2 of Michigan's stay in place order. Shelter in place. That's what it is. Shelter in place. Man, I hope you weren't outside when they said that. Shelter in place order. So if this whole 2-week thing is the right thing to do, We should be fine in just about a week. About a week, well, I'll be fine. Imagine if we just said from the beginning, hey, look, everybody inside for 2 weeks, stay there, and we'll let you out in 2 weeks. We'd be done by now. We'd be done. Easter would be fine. The problem is, man, you got this. Some people got mad at me for talking about this. This sheltering in place thing, all it's going to do is prolong the sickness. It's going to prolong it because people go in healthy or people go in at the beginning of it and don't realize they have it and then come out at the end and they're all coffee. It's like, wow, I must have a chest cold. Yeah, it's not that 3-week incubation period it could have, right? You still got like 2 months left, so buckle in. Richo, dude, I am the last person you have to talk to about sheltering in place. For real. I'm in my house because I have to be all the time. If I only have 2 months left of being in my house all the time, fucking, I'll take it. I'll fucking take it. While you guys were out gallivanting and making a better economy, whether in Australia where you're at or here, my ass has been locked in the house basically for 4 years. And I don't mind it. I talked about this before. I'm easily amused. I can entertain myself just fine. I get bored. Of course I do. And then I go do something so I'm not bored anymore. I realize, I'm bored. I should find something to do. And then I go find something to do. Whether it's watching TV or doing a podcast or playing a video game or playing with my granddaughter now that she's up here. That's what it is most of the time these days. She's so bored. It rained all day yesterday, so we couldn't go outside. And she was just, oh, poor kid. She's like, we need to just go outside and let you run, go kick a ball or something. But it was nasty and cold and but may buy us a small bit of time, but herd immunity is the only way this goes away. Exactly. They're talking about, well, we don't want to overload the hospitals. How long does it take people to get over this? From what we've seen, it takes quite a while, months. For some people in Wuhan, if you look at their recovered numbers, it's still not even close to their infected rate a few months ago. Still way down. This seems to hang on a while for some people. So we'll see what happens. I saw people bitching. I need to get in on these Chinese paychecks. I need to get on the list of people who are getting paid by China because it's the only thing that makes sense to me. Saw some assholes today. There's pictures going around of hospitals being set up in New York City or in what's the park they're called? Central Park. These basically MASH hospitals. They're not building brick and mortar structures. It's not a wood building even. It's just they're tent hospitals basically. They're still nice, don't get me wrong. But these field hospitals are being put up and people are like, do you remember when everybody made fun of China for their hospitals? Those hospitals had air conditioning and television. That's one of these fucking things said. And television. Yeah, because that's what's important when you're passed out on a ventilator and they're just trying to keep you breathing. Then you make sure you have General Hospital playing in the background. Is that even on anymore? I don't know. I don't watch daytime TV. What's on daytime TV now? But yeah, that's the important thing. Now, what that person didn't mention? Those hospitals where they had the problem that the hospitals built in just 10 days. We made fun of them for that. Yeah, because they were garbage. They were leaking water from the fucking top at massive torrential downpour rates. And then you had one of them collapse and kill people. Yeah, General Hospital and Days of Our Lives still come on. Oh, cool. I thought those had gotten moved to some other service. I thought like Days of Our Lives was on a streaming channel or something. But yeah, that was their thing. It's sucking up to the Chinese. I saw again yesterday. People are lying about what the Chinese did and what they knew. This isn't Wuhan and China. Stop blaming the Chinese. The Chinese, no matter what you like about it, they fucking lied to their own people. They're still lying to this day. There is zero possibility they've had less than 100,000 cases and that they hit 100,000 after the US does. Zero chance. Zero. If you believe that, again, I have these great bridges. I have a whole fucking warehouse full of them. Sorry, it's not a warehouse. It's a stockpile. I did that for me. I have a whole stockpile of bridges to sell you fucking morons who believe China's numbers. Seriously, I do. Wise man said once said, don't trust China. China is asshole. That's true. And I can't believe how many people are just running around. China's being made to look like the bad guy here. And I saw the sickest reason for that today. The sickest reason was because they were trying to point out. They actually said this. China cares about its. What was it? I want to get it right. In a catastrophe, China cares about its people. The U.S. well depends on the price. Are you kidding? The Chinese look at their people as expendable, highly expendable. You know why? There's a billion of them. And just move on to the next 10-year-old to make your Nikes for you. There you go. How about that? Greenland group stockpiled 80 tons of supplies and shipped them back to China. I'm not shocked. Where life is plentiful, life is cheap. Well, it's not even like they. I suppose it costs a couple of dollars to train one of them to make Nikes, so it's not exactly cheap by their standards. But they don't care. They treat Chinese worse than we did back when they were building our railroads. I mean, the Chinese are horrible to the Chinese. Like, oh, you had the wrong opinion. Right in the back of the head. You get erased from history. But they care about their people in a time of crisis. Really? Really? Then why is that number so fucking low? I'm sorry. I can't talk about this without getting upset and going over the same fucking points. They shut down Wuhan. The city proper is 11 million people. The surrounding areas, the suburbs and stuff around that, 55 million people. And they shut it down over 1,000 cases. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. No, bullshit. This is the same country who, when the doctor found it and came out and said, hey guys, there's this new virus out here that is fucking people up. They made him sign a confession saying that he had lied. That's a true story. He later died of the virus. And you think those shitbags are being honest? You think they're telling you the right numbers? You think they're not trying to make this look like, oh, see, we didn't have that much of a problem? Look how it is spread in the U.S. Look how it's spread in the U.S. And we're pretty sure we know how it got here. It came over on one of the flights that landed in Washington and just patient zero, man. It doesn't take long in America for something to spread from coast to coast because, well, we travel all over freely. You can tell me that with a quarter of their population, we spread it faster than them? I saw a thing earlier today that said by 35 days in, China had only had, what was it, 78,000 cases. I'm like, come on, you know better than that. According to China, it does not transfer human to human, says Dangerous Spaces. Well, not just China. The World Health Organization put that information out there too, which, by the way, is something we should probably point out, because the World Health Organization was saying that in the middle of January. The World Health Organization said that in the middle of January. You know who else was saying that in the middle of January? Or at least was saying it's probably not that big of a deal? Donald Trump, and he got a bunch of shit for it. He's still getting a bunch of shit for it. This is, I like the new estimates of how many people are going to die, though. It's like doctors are trying to outdo each other. It's like a bidding war right now. 20 million, 100 billion people are going to die from this. Oh God, calm down. And they're really treating young people dying with glee. It's like, look, some young people died. That means everybody can die. Yes, anybody can get this and die. You can be perfectly healthy, get this and die. Yes, that is true. The chance of that happening is pretty slim. Chances are, if you're fat, if you're a smoker, if you're asthmatic like me, if you have any kind of lung problems, if you're old is the key demographic. It really is. It still is. But they keep hoping every now and then, come on, give us a young one so we can go out there and scare the shit out of everyone. Gamer Beline, thank you. If you follow it, there's a path from LAX and SFO through Vegas to Colorado. Vegas only gets American tourism spikes during economic turndown. Well, if you follow it, almost this used to be, O'Hare used to be the big airport, and it's still a big airport, but everybody goes through Georgia now. They go through the Atlanta airport, both on international and national flights if you're going cross country. It's always been amazing to me that several places we've looked, like where airlines would take us, they'd take us down to Atlanta before they'd take us over. We don't have a really big airport near me, and they almost all want to take us to Georgia first. Over on the Streamlabs, thank you so much, Evolved Potato. I'm still wary on China saying he died by the virus. I think China might have just shut him up. Also, a high-ranking person at White House, at WHO. Sorry, it cut off at WH, so I apologize for that. A high-ranking person at WHO who was backing China on what they said was funded by China to get elected. No. You're not telling me that international organizations can be bought and paid for by large countries or even corporations to push agendas, are you? LAX and SFO are major entry points from Asia, and combine it with the tech sector. Yeah. But that's, I mean, I don't know how or if Washington got hit, and they're pretty sure they accidentally released the virus up there. Or at least that's the way it sounds, because they brought those people over they knew had the virus. Good job, government. Thanks for that. And you had that one, where they took it. Which base was it again? They took them to bases and didn't do the proper protocols on these people. And yeah, virus. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. Sorry, guys. I did not get to my mute in time. Why do we even have a WHO or the UN? Neither one does anything and holds no actual sway. Well, the UN was supposed to be a way to avoid another world war. And as with any organization like that, in order for it to matter, it has to keep growing in power. Oh my God. I've got the sneezes today. I got my mute that time, but anyway, so I mean, a place for world leaders to go talk to each other and make sure we're not gonna blow everybody up. That's not a horrible idea. But it has outgrown its necessary. We don't have to send things by cable anymore. Our leaders can actually video conference face to face at all hours of the night if they wanted to. And the UN just sits there to exist. The UN tried to basically become the world power there for a while until luckily some people in the US were like, oh, fuck you. Fuck you. Hell no. And they had to go, oh, okay, because we're their major funder. As for the WHO, it's good to have a World Health Organization if it's used properly, if it is to track things like pandemics. Hey guys, heads up, this is coming. Heads up, we found this over here. Don't name it after that though, because apparently that's going to make people hate folks from that region. I did love that when I was reading that CNN article about why we shouldn't name things after where they're from. And they mentioned Ebola. Like when Ebola was real big, there were people who wouldn't hire folks from the African nation, or what is it, the Republic of the Congo is where that comes from, the Ebola River. And like they wouldn't hire them from there. Come on, how many people knew that was named after the Ebola fucking river? Like there was some guy at a gas station go, I can't hire you, man. I'm pretty sure you're from that place where the Ebola River is. They're trying hard to make it look, we shouldn't do this because it turns out to be racist, even unless we said it. Yeah. Anyhow, I'm all over the place today. I'm sorry, guys. I got some sleep, not very much. After the game stream, I went and laid down. And I got about 3 hours of sleep, so my brain is only on half tired, half awake. Middle East respiratory syndrome. Yeah, that was another one dangerous that they're like, you shouldn't do that because it made people not like the Arabs. Yeah, you guys, everything doesn't make us like the Arabs. But anyhow. Yeah, and it should be pointed out that America does have the most cases of the corona, you guys. No, it doesn't. It has the most reported cases. I would bet my left nut that China has the most cases. There's 1 billion people there. And in their major cities, they're stacked upon each other. They're not like spread out like a fucking suburb. Their most dense places, like Wuhan, they're pretty much right on top of each other. But the government made them all stay inside. Or the government shot them if they thought they had it. And that still counts as having it, you assholes. Yeah. But yeah, so we're on week 2, you guys. Week 2 here in Michigan of not being able to leave our homes unless it's necessary. Which, by the way, a fast food run is deemed necessary. I'm not making that up. Fast food restaurants are allowed to stay open because they are deemed necessary because they make food, you all. Oh my God. I can't believe that's a thing. In the zombie apocalypse, the first thing we need to do is make sure we keep the fast food restaurants open. Which is fine. I mean, I don't have a problem with it other than the fact that they're deeming it essential. We must close down all non-essential businesses. But make sure the kids can get a Happy Meal. Yeah, the fast food places need to be open for guys like me and the truckers, and those of us that are stuck out in this shit with these morons. Now, look, I get what you're saying there, Pincalo. But you can pack a lunch. I'm just saying, you can pack a lunch. Didn't we have truckers before we had fast food? If my timeline is correct, we had truckers before we had fast food. People do need to eat. They do. But the notion, and let's be honest, there's a lot of places that trucks don't go through or don't go through that often. What if you said, okay, every 100 miles you can have a McDonald's open or a fast food place open? No monkey, they ate at diners. All of them? Nobody ever packed a lunch in a truck. That's weird. Especially in today's trucks. Don't they have like coolers and shit in them? Huh. Gamer Valine, thank you. My neighbors were outside Saturday night toasting passing cars with their yard glasses because they're bored. Cool couple. As long as you're in your yard, you should be fine. Remember, 6 feet, people. 6 feet. Truck stops with attached restaurants. Oh, now I've pissed people off because I've suggested truckers should have a bag lunch. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. How do you pack a lunch when you're out for weeks at a time? Peanut butter and bread. All right. How about this? How about we don't need all of them open? I live in a small town, you guys. Small town. And you're right, I'm not sorry. I'm just fucking up. Guys, I have extreme respect for truckers being out there right now. And most of you shitbags who are on the road with them probably shouldn't be right now. So get the fuck off the road so they can do what is a thankless job in a horrible condition right now for you. How about that? How about you go sit your ass at home so they can get you that toilet paper you're so desperately afraid is going to run out? How about that? How about that? There. Now back to me making jokes. Okay, let's say fast food places are needing to be open. Fast food joints being open spreads people out so we don't all end up at the grocery store together. Wait, come on. Look, if you're talking about the truckers, I'll give you that. Don't tell me people are going to fast food joints so they don't have to go to the store and be with other people. The only person I've even seen suggest that was actually somebody who's like, how am I going to be able to get my food? I don't know how to cook for myself. I'm like, you are a bitch. Your mama should have taught you better. And it wasn't fast food. It was just restaurants in general. But I feel like not all of the fast food restaurants in my town need to be open at the same time. I'm throwing it out there. They're all served at the door. You can pick it up at the door. But as far as I know, the next town over, all the food places can stay open. If you serve any kind of food, you can stay open. And I just feel like some people are taking advantage of that. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Oh, I'm not gonna lie to you. I've had fast food since this has happened. So, once. The concern here, or my concern here, is at McDonald's here. They have self-serve touchscreens. Seems a bad idea right now. Yeah, I mean, it's not the greatest idea. You know what you should do? I'm fairly certain most McDonald's now you can order from your phone. Order it that way, man, so you don't have to touch nobody else's booger-picked hands, man. Like, oh, you had your finger up your nose. I saw it. You know what people do in cars? GameStop is going to start selling bags of chips. Just you watch. Well, did you guys see what Bloodwing was talking about? He works for a smoke shop, and they've somehow been deemed a necessary business, an essential business. And he said they've started carrying a small supply of food items that he thinks they're specifically doing to keep themselves open. Yeah, I could see a lot of businesses doing that. Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? Where can I take my kids to play if not McDonald's? The park. Just don't let them get close to any other children. They just have to stand there and look at all the swings and stuff. You want every smoker in the country to go into nicotine fits at the same day? No, midnight, but nicotine is not an essential thing. It's not. That's just fact. You might not like withdrawal, but you're not going to die of nicotine withdrawal. Now, there were, where was it? Was it here in Michigan. I can't remember where it was. They tried to close down pot shops, and they immediately had to reopen them because that's actually used for, like, yes, there are people who use it for recreation. Yes, absolutely. But that's also used for cancer. Cancer. I feel like that's a little bit more important than your vape juice. Just throwing that out there. It is when every smoker wants to murder the same day. Well, that's how you get rid of corona. That was California. Okay, thanks, sir. I couldn't remember what state it was in. My state is still being dickbags about the whole marijuana thing. They're mad. Monkey, stay safe, and thanks for the entertainment. Thank you, Tiara. Thank you. Tiarai. Tyrai. I always say, I fuck your name up every time. I don't know why you listen to me. Thank you for the donation. That's very kind of you. In the words of the band The Police, don't stand so close to me, indeed. But look, I like smoking, and if I run out, I'm going to be kind of upset. I will be jittery as fuck. You guys are not going to want to turn in on those days. Be like, Monkey has just been shouting fuck for the last 30 minutes straight. But none of us is going to die without a cigarette. However, yes, people do need to eat. I just feel like in some cases, you guys, we might have too many restaurants open. Just a few too many. Like, I don't know why a restaurant in the middle of a town needs to be open when there's like 4 on the outskirts. Garrett, thank you. I was smart enough to buy extra juice before this. There you go. Nut says others may die, though. I'm not saying that's not possible. Oh, man. We got to talk more about my state, yeah, guys. My governor has been caught lying. If you guys don't know who Gretchen Whitmer is, she is the bubble-headed governor of my state. She got to do the response, the official Democratic response to the State of the Union. Real quick, thank you, Gamer. Don't let me stay off the road. Oh, don't tell me to stay off the road and not use care. I have to stop this. Let's go back and try reading that again. Don't tell me to stay off the road and to not use carry out to avoid people. I was doing that before Corona made it cool. I hate people, and no to flash for lane clear. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I'm very respectful of truckers, always have been. I was taught that. My dad was a trucker for about a year between high school and when he went into the Navy. And he was very big on that, and that was ingrained in my head. And anytime we drove across country, yeah, you always made room for the truckers and made sure that you make sure they can see you and you see them. And yeah, you just be respectful on the road. But at this point, there's a lot of people who are out there on the road with these poor bastards. And those guys, they have a stressful job right now. They have a stressful job anyway. You ever had to deal with some people who, some of the people I worked with at Walmart, when these poor fucking truckers came in, they treated them like shit. Like, why do you treat them like that? And now they have that in addition to the very real possibility they could end up getting sick trying to make sure people have fucking toilet paper. Bearcock, thank you. Are lot lizards considered essential personnel? Asking for a friend. Well, it depends. Which kind of virus spread are we trying to stop here? Nothing for you here said truckers are the real heroes of all this. You know what? We have several real heroes of all this. Our doctors and nurses right now, their job is scary all the time. And we just turned that up to 11. Your truckers, definitely, man. These are guys making sure that food gets to your store so that Yashar Ali can write fake ass stories about you. Yeah. What is a lot lizard? A lot lizard is a whore who roams truck lots to fuck truckers. And not always the paid kind of whore. Some of them are just sluts. I used to actually know one when I worked at McDonald's a long time ago. The McDonald's I worked at, there was a truck lot there. And every Friday night during the summer, she would come up, poke her head in. I'm going to be out in the lot. Like, I don't care. Get your nasty ass away from my window, please. Yeah, she came into the break room one day when I was in there. I'm in there smoking a cigarette. And she comes in, and me and my best friend were sitting in there. She grabs my best friend's cigarette, takes a puff, and puts it back down and walks out. And all of it, we looked at him. And he just picks it up. He puts it out, pulls out a new one, and lights it. Like, yep. Johnny Hellcat, thank you. I am a hero, apparently. Slinging appliances saves. I'm not sure what that means. But thank you for the donation. People have been calling us janitors heroes. I wish they respected us by not throwing their drinks in the paper bins and pissing down the urinal. Or pissing below the urinal. Wow, down the urinal. Yeah, janitors definitely heroes in this. Man, there's so many people that do jobs that we normally just don't even pay attention to. Normally pay no attention to because it's just what happens in the background, you know? And yeah, all you fuckers out there putting your health at risk to make sure things keep moving, even in this shit. Am I a hero? I work in hospice care. Poof. Depends. Are you good at your job? You're not smothering anybody with pillows, are you? Aim the hose, people. Snubberth, the worst place I ever worked for bathrooms, at least the men's bathrooms and urinals, it was one that had the urinal went all the way to a floor. It was when I worked at that McDonald's, actually. One of those tall. I do not know why you would ever intentionally make people aim at the floor. The amount of people who missed this giant space that they're supposed to be peeing in, like, Jesus Christ. Johnny says, I'm an appliance salesman. The boss calls us heroes. Wow. I hope he gives you capes as well. Did you read Tyrai's Streamlabs? Yes. Because I screwed up the name when I read it and made a joke about my inability to read. How would you decide which restaurants and fast food to close feasibly? How about you can stay open if you're within 2 miles of a highway? How about that? That seems fair. Now I'm going to get a bunch of shit because I think we should close some of the fast food restaurants. Andrew, thank you. You probably covered it, but Gal Gadot covered your favorite song, Thoughts. Yeah, we talked about it a little bit on, I don't remember if it was one of these shows or if I was just rambling about it in general. Yeah, they covered, it wasn't just her. It was a whole bunch of Hollywood celebrities covered the song Imagine. Imagine all the people. There's a great line in there that if you actually imagine if there was nothing worth dying or killing for. I've always hated that line because it's fucking stupid. Imagine a world without passion. Well, a world without passion, you wouldn't mind if grandma dies right now, right? Just let her go. There's no reason to be upset about that. Just let that shit happen. Just let it happen. I also saw that we also mentioned that Lionel Richie is thinking about a new We Are the World. A new We Are the World for this. Imagine there's no heaven. That's comforting to people dying. Right. Check your Twitter for the Ryan Reynolds PSA Corona. I will in a little bit. I still have a story I'm supposed to be getting to, but I'm enjoying this. I've always hated that song. It's a bunch of hippie nonsense. It's another one of those songs where if you actually listen to the lyrics, you're like, this is really fucking stupid. It's really stupid. But celebrities, they want to get together and seem like they're doing something. So they got together and they put this supercut of them all singing Imagine together. And it's just dumb. Cryptic, thank you. Surprise, a bunch of rich people love communism. I know, right? It's I was thinking about communism and where we're at in the world today. I think about it a lot, you guys. I really do. And not just when I'm talking about it on here, but I see us as a country here in the States going horribly wrong. And I see people talking about how, look, as I was mentioning earlier, those Chinese hospitals and how great they built them real fast and because they care about their people. And then Yashir Ali's tweets about how people can't buy food. And if you read the thread where he actually asked people if you can buy food, and almost all of them are like, the problem is we can't find food. I'm like, well, there's your communist utopia right there, guys. There's your when you go to that store and you go in there and you're hoping to find food and there's none there, there's your communism, man. All you got to do is get in the bread line and wait for the bread to come in. There you go. It's a quick glimpse at it, but nobody's dying in their hospital. Tons of people are dying, first of all. There's a whole bunch of people we're not hearing about. And then you look over at some place like Italy, which has, your universal health care that they all love so much. Last I saw, and I'm sure it's more than this, 7,000 people had already died there. They had, I think it's at over 8,000 actually, because they had the absolute worst mortality rate. 10% of people that are known to have had this disease in Italy have died. But guys, if we had universal health care here, Corona wouldn't be a problem. Like, Corona's not a problem because people can't go to the hospital. Corona's a problem because it's spreading really fast. Even right now with all the bullshit about overstuffed hospitals. There was a story that came out yesterday that, was it NBC? I think it was NBC News. Don't quote me on the news source, but one of the major carriers was caught. No, it was CBS. Caught using pictures from an Italian hospital on a story about how overcrowded the New York hospitals are. Meanwhile, the New York hospitals, a couple of them, yes, they're finally getting to where they're full. That's why they're setting up the field hospitals, and that's why they're converting some old buildings into new hospitals. It's being taken care of. There's Mr. Reagan on YouTube says that Italy is artificially boosting their numbers. Maybe they are. I'll have to look into that. I haven't heard anything about that. I'm willing to believe it, and there's a very real reason to believe that, and it's how old their population is. They have a very old population. He said it was NIH that supported that fact. What fact? I missed something. People die every day. If the death number isn't compared with the area's death rate, normally there's no perspective. Okay, yeah. Let's talk about that for just a minute. If you suddenly have 50 new deaths that are just attributed to this, that is 50 people who wouldn't have died there no matter what the death rate is. All you're talking about is small percentages at that point. What is important with this virus is what the mortality rate is of this virus. But again, that mortality rate is based on a whole lot of factors. The flu killed 20,000 people this last season. The number of people who were, say, in their 30s that died of the flu, very tiny percentage, because it usually kills old people and young people. That's why we take great care of really, really old and really, really young people with the flu. Most of us are just sent home. Like go home and stay in bed and get lots of water. Anyway, where are we? Oh, so Miss Whitmer. We got to change topics for just a moment. Governor Gretchen Whitmer says medical vendors told not to, quote, send stuff to Michigan. This is very important because we also had this came out Friday, but we also had on Friday. Just 1 second, guys. Oh, my bad. I missed my chance. 1 second. My apologies. So on Friday, she came out and said that talking to vendors had been told not to send stuff to Michigan. And we also had the whole bullshit about Donald Trump said not to talk to people from Michigan and Massachusetts and that he's not sending stuff to them. And so you have a whole bunch of these articles that came up with a whole bunch of bullshit all at the same time. Except in this case, it comes from Miss Whitmer herself. She was giving an interview, and 1 second, guys. I'm sorry. I need one more second. My apologies. Making noises you don't want to hear. So, in this case, Whitmer, here's the quote that she actually gave. Where is it at? This is not the good one. Oh, there it is. When the federal government told us that we needed to go ourselves. No, that's not the right one. Now I have to find it over here because I have competing articles, you guys. Whitmer says no supplies. Is it this one? No, see, all these other ones are from her bullshit where she's fixed it. All right, you know what? I have it on my profile. Here's the quote of what she said. What I've gotten back from the vendors with whom we've procured contracts, they're being told not to send stuff to Michigan. Now, she does go on and she says that she doesn't know who told them that, but that's what she says. The vendors are being told not to send stuff to Michigan. Well, she was on with Chuck Todd last night, or maybe it was the night before. Said, you seem to imply late in the week that you thought the federal government or perhaps Donald Trump was punishing Michigan in your attempts to procure different medical items. Do you still believe that is happening? And do you believe that you were mistaken? And here's what she says. Now, I want you to remember what she originally said. The vendors were telling her that they were told not to send stuff to Michigan. All right. No, here's what I said. What we are doing is placing all of these orders. We are contracting. We are trying to procure this in addition to the help we need from the federal government. And like Massachusetts, like New York, like California, like places all across the country, we're bidding against one another. She's changed her story because she got called out for being a lying bitch. And so she's changed her story to say now that no. Look, you guys, what I was talking about is that we're having to bid against each other, and that's not fair, and we're having trouble getting stuff. But wait, what? How is that vendors are being told not to send stuff to Michigan? Those things they're not the same. They're not even close. You originally went. She did it on purpose, you guys. She did it on purpose because the comments from Trump where he supposedly said that he wasn't going to send stuff to the different states if they didn't kiss his ass, I believe those came on Thursday. And then it was on Friday that we heard him tell Mike Pence that he told Pence not to call these governors? They were trying to play up this bullshit until people went, excuse me, do you have proof of that? Can you show us? Because we're dying to find that kind of proof so we can prove Donald Trump is hurting states who aren't nice to him. And she's like, oh, no, wait, that's not what I meant. That's not what, no. What I really meant was, yeah, we're just having trouble because there's 50 states bidding against each other. Thunderfoot will buy your bridges. He believes the number. Oh, cool. Give him my PayPal. Give him my Streamlabs link. He believes a China number? For real? That's fucking retarded. You should see Forbes headline, Trump narcissistic punishment of withholding Michigan aid. What's the date on that article? Dangerous. Because she came out yesterday with this. No, that's not what I said. That's not what I meant. I mean, it's exactly what she said, and it's exactly what she meant. She was trying to frame Trump for hurting those of us here in Michigan. Now, there has been some, there was a story in the Washington Post. It was the Washington Post. I think it was yesterday that I read it. Based along these same lines, where they didn't actually quote, they didn't quote Whitmer in it, but they did. They were talking about the arbitrary way that the strategic stockpile is being sent out to different states. It's very arbitrary, you guys, because parts of it are based on size of the population of the state. Last that we had any kind of numbers on, 25% of the determination is based on the population of the state, 25% on need, and then the rest is completely arbitrary as far as we know. But like some states aren't getting anything, and some states are just getting a little bit. Connecticut only got 5% of what they asked for. Like, how big is fucking Connecticut? And what did they ask for? Saying they only got 5% doesn't mean jack all. If they asked for way more than they could ever possibly fucking need, when you have somewhere like New York with this huge fucking outbreak right now that kind of needs it more than you do. Then they said the one difference is Florida, who got everything they asked for. Like, well, was their ask a little more reasonable? Because it certainly seemed like it. They only asked for something like 700,000 masks in their state. And you mean supplies are running out and everyone's begging for it? Well, everybody's just trying to get their order in. And the suppliers are trying their best to meet everybody's needs. And see, we have a problem here too. We have a problem here. You know, when we go on, we talked about toilet paper buying. Toilet paper buying is people just being stupid. When it comes to the coronavirus thing, states are going overboard. Some of them. They really are. I understand why, and it makes a shit ton more sense than the toilet paper thing did. But a lot of it is still, you know, panic buying. We're going to need this in a month. All right, well, some people need it right now. How about you slowly stock up to get to that point? Or how about you take your percentage of it at this point? So we have just panic buying everywhere. And yes, there's some places that are out. California is going to be screwed, man. This stuff is just now spreading in California. And when it starts spreading the way that it has in New York City, when this gets into LA, when this gets into San Diego and San Francisco, man, they're just going to have to they're going to have to burn that place down. They're just going to have to burn that fucking place down. And it's going to spread, and California is going to be hit, and there's going to be smaller states like mine. Mine's not as big as California. And they'll be, how come California is getting stuff and we're not? Well, one, you are getting stuff. They're just getting more because they have a much bigger fucking population. Why? Let's see if we can puzzle this one out. With a disease that's mostly killing old people, why might we send so many resources to Florida? That's a puzzler. Oh, I know. Because Mar-a-Lago's there. That's why. That's the only reason. It's because Trump lives there. Yep, that's it. No, nothing to do with the elderly population down there. No, it's just because Trump lives down there. I hate this shit, man. These fucking... I am still of the opinion it is being blown way out of proportion, that they are scaring the shit out of huge swaths of people to the point that they are still panic buying everything in their local fucking grocery store. But if you're going to be taking it seriously, how about take it seriously? How about you take it seriously and you be like, you know what? We are going to stay indoors. We are going to let the people more likely to die have the first dibs on shit. How about that? You won't see that. Oh, no. Oh, no. You're going to kill our grandma. Will she grandma get the preventative measures before you? Fuck grandma. Fucking boomer. Fucking boomer. Fuck that boomer bitch. Give me my mask. Oh, my God. We should be taking it seriously, and it is also being overblown. Both can be true at the same time. Both are true at the same time, and I agree with you 100% there. Nothing for you here. I've said that all along, despite being taken out of context. Have you seen the FDA-approved hydrochloroquine? I haven't, but I'm not surprised. I know they were online for it. Trump had said they'd already did it, and what he was actually trying to say there, if you actually watch what he said during that press conference, is that they were fast tracking it, and fast tracking it for trial. But hey, Trump told people to eat fish tank cleaner. Yeah, man. You're scaring the shit out of everybody, and it is. It's causing panic buying everywhere, and this should be a lesson. This should be a lesson. We have the strategic stockpile. That is not meant. The strategic stockpile, all of the stuff we put in there, it's not meant to take care of the entire country at all. First of all, not to take care of the entire country at all. It's mostly made to take care of major centers. Your New York, your Los Angeles, your Miami, Dallas, Chicago, your major cities. And it's not meant to do it for very long at all. It's for small scale things. There's a lot of, why don't we have all of these supplies for all of the time? It's not for, that's not what that's for. It is a backup to help people. Doctors, well, not doctors, sorry, hospitals should be doing this. States should be doing this. I haven't heard anybody criticize the states for how they've prepared for this shit. Have you? Let me know if you have, because I haven't heard a single fucking reporter out there. New York has never taken a pandemic seriously. And there's people out there, nobody's ever warned about that. Nobody could see this coming. People have been warning about this for 30 fucking years. Written in major fucking publications. The Atlantic, the New York Times, the fucking Washington Post, they've all written fucking stories about this shit. Nobody could have seen it coming. Yeah, they could. Yeah, they could. People have been warning about it. People have written articles. Once every 100 years, we have a pandemic, a major pandemic. And this just seems to be the one for the 100 years. And then we forget about it. And we talk about it here and there. And then we just fucking ignore it for a while. Whoops. Gamer Valine, thank you. Jesse Waters did a piece on 329 about similar. Oh, I'll have to check it out. God, I haven't seen a Jesse Waters piece in forever. I don't know if I've actually seen anything of just his. Didn't he used to be on O'Reilly? He does Water's World, right? I think I may have seen one because he's got his own show now and he got in trouble for something maybe 6 months, 8 months ago, something like that. I can't remember exactly the details of it. This is the problem when you go through so many news stories all the time. Shit just kind of runs together until you get the exact reminder. I'll have to check it out though. But on 329, he did something similar. I haven't seen the states myself seen them get any shit for any of this. It's all, why didn't Donald Trump do more? Well, why didn't Cuomo? Why didn't Newsom? Why didn't Whitmer? That bitch has been in office for more than a year. Bitch, why didn't you do anything for our strategic reserve? Why didn't you go out there and buy up a shit ton of masks, giving people jobs and making sure we'd be secure? Oh, because it wasn't something you needed to worry about. Gamer Valine, thank you. Sent you the link. It's the last 10 to 15 minutes. I'll check it out. I appreciate it. But yeah, I mean, it's all about Donald Trump. That son of a bitch. He got rid of the people in the White House who talked to him about disease, which turns out, by the way, not true. They took that one section and they merged it in with other sections. The people are all still fucking there. There's just not one dude. Instead, it's a different dude. But man, that was the story, wasn't it? He took money away from the CDC. He didn't. Look, he wanted to reduce the budget. That is absolutely true. And instead, the budget for the CDC went up. Congress stepped in and the budget went up, which he signed into law. There's no Donald Trump signed CDC budget increase. Nobody's talking about that shit, are they? Even though it's just as true as him wanting to cut the budget. Fucking assholes. It's all about it. You're playing politics with this shit, and it's not helpful. All you end up doing is scaring the shit out of people. There are people openly wishing death on the president now based on bullshit that they've read that is not true at all. They didn't like him. They didn't like him to begin with. But now he's out there killing people, you guys. He's got a body count. Fucking losers. That's all you're doing. The federal government isn't taking care of you. What's your state government doing? Look at Cuomo out there. Trump's not sending us the ventilators we're asking for. Do you have more than you need right now? Well, yeah, we have a stockpile. Then shut the fuck up. They're getting them to you. They can't snap their fucking fingers and make them appear out of thin fucking air. They're literally building them for you right fucking now. Orange Man bad. Orange Man bad, you guys. Orange Man bad. Yeah, guys, please remember I'm brought to you by you. If you enjoy what you're hearing, please hit the like button, hit that share button, because people need more fucks in their life. And if you can, a donation in the hat is always appreciated. It's not going to buy you one of those bridges. Those are a very specific offer. You have to be really fucking stupid to qualify for one of those bridges. And I want to clarify that, because I said if you believe the story of Paula that I have a bridge to sell you, I don't think you guys are that stupid. I think you guys fell for a very easily told story, and it makes me worry for you. It makes me worry that you're going to get a Nigerian prince email. My sister needs to marry somebody, and if you send me $1,000, you'll get 10 billion of her dowry. Yeah, don't fall for that. Cryptic, thank you. When state and local government fails, blame the federal government. Which is it? State rights or powerful federal? Pick, D-bags. Well, here's the thing. For some of these people, the very powerful federal government is what they want. They only want their local government on certain things. There's a lot of people. I think there's a lot of people that would be okay with getting basically getting rid of governors and stuff and getting rid of local laws because they want us all to live under the same bullshit. They want to be able to tell me how to live when they're down there on a beach in San Diego. They're jacking off on a street corner in San Diego. They don't understand even the idea of the republic. They don't get what it means. Yeah, depends on who they want to blame. Yeah, P-Dog, you're not wrong, but there's plenty of blame to go around here. And part of the blame falls on hospitals. Sorry, hospitals. It's true. You guys, you make a decent living down there in hospitals. And I don't expect you to have 10,000 ventilators hidden in a shed somewhere. But you guys running out of masks, that to me should be something. You guys are ordering them as needed. They have a 6-year shelf life. Why don't you have a storeroom of those fucking things? Okay, Native, thank you. I'm morally obligated to give you my last money only when Jack is here, crippled, not Jack. You're not morally obligated to ever give me money, but you are appreciated for doing it every time. The hospitals, who was it I was talking to the other day? It was somebody I was talking to live. They'd mentioned they'd gone in for something. Oh, it was Hammer. And his hospital stay cost him $40,000. And yeah, there's things like that are really expensive. And hospitals make a decent profit. And if they don't, they end up getting bought out by another hospital that runs them even leaner. With their markups on medications and stuff in hospitals, I don't know how they're losing money. I never looked at their books, but I can't imagine stockpiling some of those masks to keep your people healthy is that expensive. How much before this started was a box of those masks? Say 100 of those masks. Even if it's $100, that's pretty cheap. 100 masks, you'll be fine. It's there's lots of blame to go around, and if you want to play the blame game, play it entirely. But otherwise, how about we try to work our way out of this instead of pointing fingers at everybody going, fuck you, fuck you. Yeah, I happened to find some, I was cleaning up down here and found some N95 masks that I own for some reason. Suzanne Wild, thank you so much. PPE use has jumped 10 times or tenfold. They are all made in China. Yeah, I don't remember who tweeted it out the other day, but somebody tweeted out a video of an American company that are making the face shields, and they can churn out 3,500 a day. Yeah, they're making a tidy profit for themselves while helping out, and they're not the super fancy ones, but it works. It's what we need. And see, that's the kind of thing that I like. We saw the other day, Dyson is coming up with their own ventilator that's built right into a bed, so you don't have to have a separate one. We have all kinds of companies refitting themselves. You had alcohol companies refitting to make hand sanitizer. You have people making the ventilators, the face masks, the shields, all of this stuff. I've seen many people talk about how America, the way we're responding is really weird for Americans because we seem to just be cowering in place. And for us, like, you show us an enemy, we'll go kick its ass. That's what we do. You show us an enemy, we will go beat the fuck out of it. That's how we respond. You blow up our towers, we're going to kill a ton of your people and make you never do it again. You keep bombing our British friends, and then you bomb one of our bases, we're going to fuck you up. And we're just going to send people and bombs until we're done. We rise to the challenge, and this is not that kind of challenge. Except it is. Now, we can't take up arms against it. What we can do is everybody go, okay, we're refitting our Jack Daniel distillery to make fucking hand sanitizer. You know what I mean? You have Americans going out there and making it fucking happen. Like, you know what? We need this shit yesterday. Let's get it fucking made. That's what they're out there doing, man. We throw it on a truck and we ship it to a hospital and somebody's life is saved because of it. America's a great place, man. America's a great place. And how much better would this be going? How much better would people feel if they saw those stories instead of Trump said he's not sending supplies to states? Not what he said, you lying dick. People are running out of money so they can't have food. That's not even true by your own fucking comparison there. Oh, I forgot to tell you, in that whole Paula thing, there's a great part where he's talking about, don't tell me that she can just go fill out unemployment, because some people can't go fill out unemployment. They don't know how to do it. And yes, some people have been saying for some time that a pandemic might be coming, but not everybody has time to read when they work. And he was specifically talking about, what was it? When you're doing back-breaking work is what he said. You don't have the time or energy to read when you're doing back-breaking work. Now, I'm not going to deny that being a waiter or waitress is back-breaking work. Being on your feet for a long shift like that, carrying heavy shit and dealing with assholes. Yeah, that's back-breaking work. But let me, if I can, offer a counterpoint. I used to do a job where I literally shoveled steel chips into a bucket. Well, it's actually a giant centrifuge, and then used a crane to put it up into the big centrifuge itself so they could be spun to get all the oil off of it. I do this for 8 hours. I do it for 10 hours a day. I worked 10-hour shifts at the time, and I would do this weeks at a time. That's back-breaking work. You know what I did when I got home? I read. People can't read if they have a job. Like, that's fucking retarded. That's fucking retarded. Huh? Stop making excuses for every bad decision people make. Nobody saw this coming. Several people saw it coming. Before it ever got here in the States, somebody asked us, what should I want to go out and get Corona stuff. And my wife or girlfriend, I forget which it was, is arguing with me about it. How do I make her see that I should? We talked about that. Sinatra was on that show. I'm like, go out there and get some stuff to prepare. Get yourself some basic items. Make sure you have them on stock or on hand. It's getting to the point, I really do think everybody needs to watch this show. Everybody needs to watch this show because we give out information way in advance of anyone else. I cannot count the number of times that I've seen a story blow up big on Twitter, and we talked about it like a week ago. There was one just the other day, and I actually pointed it out at the time. I wish I could remember what it was. I could probably go through my Twitter and see. But yeah, it's like we talked about that last week. What are y'all doing? Why don't you people listen to me more? I'm telling you. Fuck. Oh, right here. Movement of military vehicles through SoCal is routine and not related to coronavirus, officials say. Do you remember that? Because at the time, there were tons of pictures showing up on Twitter about, oh my God, look, they're moving military vehicles on trains. They're gonna start the martial law tomorrow. Like, no, that shit happens all the time. Just because you don't normally pay attention to it and you're only paying attention to it now because you're on fucking edge doesn't mean you want to know when you worry? When they come driving that shit into your town. When they're doing it like that, they're saving gas, you dumb motherfuckers. Like, I'm telling you, we talk about this shit all the time and people don't listen. They don't listen to me, you guys. They don't listen. We didn't listen. Don't freak out, man. Don't freak out. By all means, be safe. There is a middle ground between freaking out and doing nothing. It's called being safe. Taking precautions. There you go. That's it. Just Take precautions. We're always moving military machinery around. It's been happening since the military was a thing. Yeah, nothing for you here. Watching that blow up on Twitter was one of the weirdest things I've seen in my life, because even where I live, where I think that there's one train track around here that there's a lot of old train tracks that aren't used anymore, but there's one that is still in use. And I've probably only stopped at that train track twice in the 20 years I've lived here. And one of them was for that. It was for military vehicles. I just found out I got approved for $1 an hour raise. Thank you so much, ex-Bubba Hotep, for sharing that raise with me. That's very kind of you, sir. And congratulations. But yeah, it's amazing how many times I've seen people just freaking out about a story we already covered and sometimes have already explained. It's like, Jesus Christ. If you guys would fucking listen to me, you wouldn't have these problems in your life. You'd probably be a lot nicer to each other. You'd probably have more sex. You'd probably stop freaking out every time somebody looked at you and realized that they're not actually looking at you. They're just looking through you because they're standing in a fucking line and don't even pay attention to where their eyes are wandering. That's a whole different topic. The male gaze. Men like to look at the women. They do. I bought stuff in late December, and my family was calling me crazy, and I bought water for the person I had drive me for 100 pounds of water, and they wanted to sell it. When they didn't, they thanked me. Yeah. No, we've been warning people for a while. Get ready. Nobody could have seen this coming. Anybody paying attention saw this coming. Anybody paying any attention saw this coming. To the point, before it blew up here in the U.S., I had a show like, I don't want to talk about Corona today. We've just done it too much. For fuck's sake, man. Pay attention. It's not that hard. Fuck. It's another reason I like Twitter. For all of you who hate Twitter, it's another reason I do like Twitter, because even if you're a week behind, as Twitter seems to be when it comes to news stories, even if you're a week behind, you're still not 3 months behind. I can't tell you the number of people. I didn't know anything about this. Suddenly there was no toilet paper. Always lost online. Else says, how do I donate without super chats or PayPal? I don't have a way to do it right now. The only other way you could do it is to purchase a shirt at the store down below. Unfortunately, if I accept credit cards, it gives out my docs, which I've never understood. Old Guy Gamer says, morning, monkey. Good morning, sir. Purple Pill Perspective says Streamlabs. Yeah, but Streamlabs, you have to do it through PayPal. Because Streamlabs is weird. You can't make like a credit card donation to a PayPal account, even if it goes in there eventually anyway. You have to do it through the means that you're using. So for me to take credit card payments, I have to attach a credit card to my account. And when somebody makes a donation, they get my credit card information, which has my address on it. And I would like to thank Cryptic for pointing that out to me, because he's the one that pointed it out to me a long, long time ago and made me take that off. My uncle didn't know until the 17th of this month. Now he's just acting almost crazy-like or crazy-like. Yeah. Anybody who was not paying attention, yeah. This is why you pay attention to the news. I know a lot of people, I don't want to watch the news. It's boring. Catch it once a week. Excuse me. God, man. Thank you, Cryptic. 70 cents to $1. Worse than a woman. Oh, yeah, here in stream or super chat. Yeah. The super chat has made us all women, you guys. Use a reloadable card. Mac, I've thought about doing that, but it's something I have to think about when I'm at a store where I can pick up a reloadable card. So yeah, it might be something I'll put that on my, as soon as we're allowed to go back to Walmart, I'll do that. Um, oh man, you guys remember that spot I've told you about on my forehead where I'm pretty sure I cracked my skull? It's been hurting again the last couple of days. Ah, really should see a doctor about that. I only said that for Jack. Um, oh, we just briefly mentioned the male gaze thing. I don't want to get too far off on that. I do want to talk about iDubbbz because I'm one of the few people who hasn't done it. I went and saw his video. Whew, man, I didn't realize how much people were freaking out about his girlfriend doing this whole fans thing. That's or OnlyFans. OnlyFans, is that what it's called? I'm such a boomer in that moment. Those fans, you kids. Where's Jack? I'm not sure. He's probably sleeping. Is your brain leaking out yet? If not, you're fine. There's no bump there, so I think I'm okay. But yeah, iDubbbz did a video where he's talking about the response that he's gotten from his girlfriend doing this OnlyFans. And people are horrible. You know, nothing for you here. That's iDubbbz is a pimp, not a simp. Changed my mind. I saw, no, look, he's definitely a cuck. Unless he's, okay, some of y'all don't know what cuck means. And this has bothered me since it first became this internet meme to call people cucks. Cuck has a very specific meaning. And there's two that you can use. There's the actual old one of you raising somebody else's child. And then there's the more modern one where you just like to watch your wife get fucked. And then there's the internet one where it means you're kind of a pussy. Yeah, it's not. What? Cult of Krill, you've never heard of iDubbbz before this? You never watched Content Cop? His Content Cop on Leafy was fucking legendary. Oh my God, it was great. Where he just rips on Leafy for half an hour for not having a chin. I know it's juvenile, but Leafy was kind of a douche. Plus, he destroyed the word literally. Okay. iDubbbz became infamous. He was famous on YouTube, and he became rather infamous when he went to a Tanya Mojo gathering. Thank you. Your chaos is my sincerity for the devil picture. Devil sticker. I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. He went to a Tanya Mojo fan gathering and paid money to get up there to where he could take a picture with her. And he puts his arm around her and says, "Say nigger." And it blew up on the internet. People, he's the worst person ever. He was doing something. He was actually making a point there. Because Tanya, as she was growing and became this SJW kind of twat, had said it online, was it twice, at least 3 times? And her excuse for why she dropped N-bombs before, and I am not making this up, she didn't know it was a slur. She didn't know that there was anything racist about saying it. That's what she said. And so iDubbbz does this, and it causes this big stir on the internet. And right after it happens, before anybody's seen the footage, she goes on this. Sorry, I'm into my drama. You guys know I love my drama. She goes on to her channel, and she does this crying video about this weirdo who said that word and then wouldn't let her go. He had her like in a chokehold, you guys, like in a choke, and she's crying her eyes out. And then iDubbbz is like, let's look at the video, because he has the whole fucking thing on video. He didn't like hold her in place or anything. She just kind of stood there for a second and then disappears. She moves off to the side. Yeah, she completely lied about it. You know, the girl who lied about not knowing what the racial implications of an N-bomb mean. Yeah. So anyway, iDubbbz, he did this series called Content Cop, where he's made these almost documentary kind of videos. Maybe not documentary. I guess these are the original exposed. Well, maybe not. I don't want to say original either. They're the original exposed videos I saw. How about that? Where he does these long videos going over shitty people like Leafy. And they're great content. And yeah, so he has this girlfriend who's decided she wants to do an OnlyFans where she does porn. Now the porn that she's doing, I don't know if anybody has found out yet, but as far as I know, nobody else is fucking her. Nobody else is putting their penis in her or touching her in any way. It's solo, as far as I understand it. But a whole bunch of his fans are mad. But one of them actually said, and he has this in his video, "You ruined my life by allowing his girlfriend to do this. You ruined my life." Like, what? What? This guy you've never met, who you just watch his videos, has a girlfriend who's going to go do OnlyFans videos that are kind of porny, and that ruins your life? How the fuck? How the fuck? How does that affect your life at all? But the responses to this have been just incredible. People losing their goddamn minds. Here's my opinion. If Lady Monkey wanted to do it, I would be like, please don't. No, I do not want you doing this. I wouldn't date somebody I knew was doing this. But I'm not in his relationship. And if it's working for him and her, I don't give a fuck. I really don't. There are women online right now who don't have any nudes or lewds out there that somebody is jacking off to. We talked about this maybe a week and a half. At the end of the show, I just asked, have you ever thought about the notion that somebody may be masturbating to you right now? Because, it happens. It happens. People get turned on by weird stuff. And so, yeah, if you have any kind of presence online, there's a chance somebody's beating off to you right now. Now, that doesn't mean you have to show them your goods. But if you can make money off of it, it's none of my fucking business. Failure says, that's what I've been saying. Most people would never let their spouse do this, boy or girl. Yeah, I mean, I don't care if they do. It's not something I could be in a relationship with, but I'm not in that relationship, so I don't got to fucking worry about it. Haha, something most women probably don't think about. Yes, ladies, some dude is probably beating it to you right now. There's a good chance, man. There's a good chance. I don't know. That monkey picture is pretty hot. Look, if nobody has ever masturbated to my voice, this voice, you've never touched yourself to it, you're dead inside. Just throwing that off. Throwing that out there. Atheist Icon, thank you. If my wife opened an OnlyFans account, there would be divorce papers served. And again, that's fine. That's you and her and your relationship. And I get it that people have these lines. I would have that line. I don't know if I'd be willing to divorce Lady Monkey over it, but we would have a strained relationship, let me tell you. But I'm not in the relationship, and iDubbbz's girlfriend masturbating for people throwing change at her on the internet doesn't hurt me at all. Doesn't change my opinion of him at all. Always lost to nothing else. I guess I'm dead inside. Look, you'll get there one day. One day you'll be like, what did he just say? Oh, I need a moment. I can honestly say that I've never masturbated to your voice, Monk. Yeah? And Yashar Ali knows somebody named Paula. How dare you? I heard it's naked photos. Yeah, like I said, I haven't heard that it's actually any hardcore porn that she's doing. And I told you guys, if I was a chick, you'd see my titties. You'd be able to draw every skin cell of my titties by now, because they'd be out that much. And people would be like, why are your titties always out? And I'd be like, shh, I can't hear you with all this money in my hand. Snubber, thank you. These outraged people pretty much look like they're saying all women should be Amish and SJWs are looking vindicated. I get what you're saying there. I understand why people are weirded out by this. I really do. But It's not your relationship. And you ruined my life. I could see iDubbbz saying that to his girlfriend. I cannot see an iDubbbz fan saying that to iDubbbz because of his girlfriend. That's fucking weird. Suzanne, thank you, says if it made hella money, for some women it does. Some women, all you got to do is get out there and bounce your titties around, and yeah. David, I'm not reading that. Gamer says that would have been my ex-husband, Monkey. He was okay. We got married, and after he left the Navy, I was the breadwinner, crisis handler, decision maker. Oh, well, iDubbbz brings that up as well. He brings up, just because some people are like, there's a lot of money in that house. They don't need to do this. It's like, yeah, but that doesn't mean she's fulfilled because he's the clearly the breadwinner in that family. And no, does she need to do it? Not to survive. She's got a very rich boyfriend. All she got to do is suck his dick and make good sandwiches. She'll be fine. But that doesn't mean she has a fulfilling life. I'm not sure showing off your titties for money is fulfilling. It'll fulfill that need for some cash to go buy something you don't need. I'm shocked by how outraged people are. And yes, I know. Outrage on the internet, newsflash, water's wet. But the number of people, and part of it, I guess, is that this is the big thing going on right now, other than Corona. So everybody's made a video at this point, and everybody's got an opinion. And I don't give a shit, dude. It's not my fucking life. I hope it works out for her. I hope it works out for him. I hope she's able to buy him a really nice Christmas gift with the money she gets from her titties. Water's not wet. Yes, it is. How dare you? If water makes things wet, then water touching other water makes that other water wet. Therefore, it's all wet. How you like that? When your girlfriend is looking to sexualize herself for attention instead of survival, she's saying something very specific about you. No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. She might just want money. That doesn't necessarily say something bad about you. I'm a man and I feel sad when you said she should suck him and make sandwiches. Why can't it be me? I'm a guy and I can suck real good. You should have hooked up with iDubbbz. I'm just saying. He's the one. She could just be a whore. Be nice. How dare you? This isn't whoring. We talked about that yesterday. I mean, if you're in a pinup in a magazine, you're not a whore. You might be kind of trashy, but you're not a whore. You didn't get paid for sex. You get paid so somebody else can jack off. That's not sex by any stretch of the imagination. Anyhow. Oh, shit. We're almost at the 2-hour mark. I've just been yapping at you guys tonight. Has it been okay? The time flew. So for me, I'm just like, oh, shit. Did I fuck this up? Anyway. She's not a whore. $20 is $20. Well, there you go. Yeah, she's just trashy with a side of stupid. Like I said, I don't know anything about her. When this blew up, I checked her out and I remembered that I'd seen her before and I'd looked her up again earlier in the year. Well, it might have even been last year, but I'd looked her up earlier because of some little controversy that had popped up at the time. But I don't remember it, and I don't know anything really about her. Didn't she do Twitch, which is basically softcore OnlyFans? I think she was a Twitch gamer for a little bit, but it didn't go very well for her. Face it, she's with Chad and Tyrone when not with iDubbbz. I doubt Chad and Tyrone have iDubbbz's wad. If you get my drift. Just because she's not being a whore doesn't mean she's not a whore. I don't know. I feel like if you're still actively a whore, then you can call her a whore. But if that's not still part of her profession, then she's not a whore. You might say she used to be a whore. Like if you're a fireman and then you retire, you're not still a fireman. You're a retired fireman. See what I mean? So maybe she's a retired whore. I'm certain iDubbbz is hung like a moose. I'm certain iDubbbz has a fat wallet because she's a little out of his league and he comes up. Okay, maybe she likes guys like that. I like iDubbbz. I like his content, but I don't think he's somebody I could like hang out with. Because he seems to have two phases. Either like he seems to be the kind of guy who's just kind of quiet there. Like if you watched his the podcast he did on H3H3, or he's just iDubbbz. And while I like iDubbbz, I couldn't take him for more than like maybe an hour at a time. Holy crap. That dude needs some Ritalin. She's out of his league. Okay. Have you seen iDubbbz? Look, I'm not trying to be mean here, but if he wasn't iDubbbz, nobody would ever know anything about him. He'd live in a cellar and not his mom's basement, because she'd be like, you got to get out, dude. No, I can't look at you. I'm not trying to be mean here, but seriously, look at iDubbbz and then look at her and like, all right, yeah, that's still out of his league. She's a Kentucky 7. He's a Kentucky 1. If he had one tooth out of place, everybody'd be making fun of him 24/7. I guess I'll check out his stuff. I've never seen any of it. Unfortunately, the content cop with Leafy, which I think everybody would pretty much agree is his best stuff, is no longer on the internet. It got taken down. You might be able to find a mirror of it, but you won't find it on his channel. But check out his Tanya Mojo shit. That was funny. He paid for her tits and she wants to do this. Maybe, has anybody considered maybe this was his idea? Maybe he's like, look, bitch, you need to pay for them titties. I gave you money. I need that. I need some return on that investment. As Nothing For You Here said, he's a pimp. He ain't a simp. He's a pimp. Like, bitch better have my money. Anyone who complains and shits on them for this needs to not watch porn anymore. You know, that is an interesting facet of this, Pinkalo. This happens with a lot of people who are like, that bitch is a dirty, nasty whore. I'm going to go beat off to somebody who is also somebody's daughter. They take it really personal in some places. The drive-through guy knows who I'm listening to. Holy shit, for real? Tell him I said hi. If you're still there, say Ranting Monkey said hi. That's cool. And where somebody in Canada knows, besides you, somebody in Canada knows me? Holy shit. Small world. Wait, do they like me? I'm always like, that's cool. Tell them I said hi. And then my second thought is, oh shit, do they like me? Do they hate me? Don't tell them you know me. I mean, you could be like, I hate listening to this. Oh man. But yeah, back to this. It's amazing how many people will partake of porn or even softcore porn, bitches and women in bathing suits. I did not mean to say bitches. I am so sorry, ladies. Bitches in bathing suits and jack off to this stuff. But they hear like, iDubbbz's girlfriend is going to be showing her titties. I'm like, oh, that motherfucker. How dare he? Just a random truck stop in the middle of nowhere, and yes, he's a fan. Yeah, tell him I said hi. I'm in Canada too, Monk. There's a lot of you guys in Canada. As much as I make fun of Canada, you guys still watch. You guys are nice. You guys are see, this is why we still love Canada as much shit as we give them. It's because we give them shit, and they're just like, we love you guys. You guys are so nice, so nice. Ranting Monkey would like to apologize to the bitches. Yes, I tried to. But yeah, I mean, I don't understand why people got so personally offended by this. And I get the memes. There's some funny ones out there. That's great. Have some fun. Have a laugh. But if you get to the point where anybody you watch on YouTube can ruin your life by doing something that does not affect you, step away from the computer. Seriously, back away. Go out and go for a walk. Stay 6 feet away from people, but go for a walk. Reassess your life, because that's just silly. I don't have big tits, so maybe that's why I'm offended. Oh, Jeanette, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you don't have big titties. That's all right. You know what? A lot of us guys, not titty guys. Do you have a flat ass too? Because if you do, I mean, I'll still like you, but wow, that's like a double whammy. That's, you know what? You women, I think you take us too seriously because we do talk about big asses and big titties a lot because we do like them. I'm not going to lie to you. But that doesn't mean if you don't have big titties and a fat ass that we're not going to love you. It's a butt. I'm not sure what that means exactly. Gamer Valine, thank you. The only B word you should call a woman is beautiful. Beaches love being called beautiful. If it helps, I am far more likely to call somebody a bitch if they're a man than a woman. I've called women bitches in more than just a joking fashion. I've meant it like that. Fuck that bitch. But I say that more, I think, towards men than I do women. It is not sexist with me. It's just a favorite insult. Plus, I think guys tend to get a lot more upset if you call them a bitch. I like big breasts and long hair. Generally, I'm a MILF man. Well, there you go. So all you got to do is get yourself a kid and snubble like you. Get yourself a kid, some long hair, and stuff the bra. He'd be like, yeah, baby. She's just using dubs. Maybe. But he's happy right now, man. As a man, I'm a fan of the itty bitty titty committee. I like, certain features, and I got very lucky in that my wife, she's got a nice ass and those big, beautiful eyes that I like, and her curly brown hair that when she comes out of the shower is like, oh, I'm going to need a moment with you. But I've never been somebody that I really do care more about the personality because I have to be able to get along with you. Sex only lasts for a couple of minutes, and that's if I'm trying. I've also been single forever, so I have a weird expectation of relationships. If you don't mind, describe forever. Give me a time frame here. You don't have to tell me how old you are, but have you been single your whole life, the last 10 years, your entire dating life kind of thing? As long as I can see vagina, I'm good. Mac, exactly. Have a vagina and don't be a cunt, and we'll get along just fine. And if you're a dude, I don't need to know what's in your pants, and don't be a cunt, and we'll get along just fine. It's amazing how just not being a cunt makes life so much easier for everybody involved. I still want to know where the proof is. All of these rumors that she's on horse cheating on her boyfriend is back. All of these just because she wants to show her fake titties off. People need to, I'm assuming there's a word. He's using a text to type as he drives. I don't know. I've heard that she's going back to iDubbbz's girlfriend, that she's been flirty with her ex-boyfriend. I don't know where that comes from. Maybe there's some drama over there on shit. What's it called? Discord. See, people, why don't you use Discord? Discord always brings drama, man. It always brings drama. I stay the fuck away from it because it should just be a messaging app, and instead it's always fucking drama over there. And nothing good. It's not like they've ever come up with anything good from Discord. Flirty. Is that more than flirty? Is that more flirty than usual? Yes, it's doubly so if you paid attention. Just that dating has been shit for me for a long while. Well, I was lucky in that I didn't have to date very long. For those of you who are unaware, I've been with my wife since high school. We met when we were, holy crap. Thank you so much. Stig, who says, noodles. That's noodles. Thank you so much for the noodles money. I appreciate that. That's going to go right into the ramen fund. What currency is that? Is that South Korea? Help me out with the currency so I know where you're at. Or ish. I don't want to know where you're at exactly. Discord is canceled. Look, Discord should be great. Discord should be a thing where like gamer clans get together and talk with each other. And instead, for some reason, it's this trash fire where all kinds of drama happens. Sweden, thank you. Wait, you're over in Sweden listening to this? Wow, I appreciate you listening. I don't know. Matt and Blonde's call-in show and Discord is very enjoyable. I haven't been in their Discord because I don't use Discord. But that doesn't mean every Discord out there is horrible. Doesn't mean every Discord out there is horrible. It means there's enough of them that I'm not dealing with that shit. I turn on my Discord very, 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 very irregularly. Every so often I'll turn it on because somebody's like, I need to message you. I'm like, oh, well, do it on Twitter. And I don't have Twitter. I can't get back on there because I said a no word. Like, all right, fuck it. What do we need to talk about? And then I get right back off. I haven't used it in any kind of earnest way since gaming, which is what it's there for, guys. Yeah, every time you turn around, there's some dickhead like, did you see this Discord drama? I'm like, oh, fuck, man. To be fair, the call-in show is fun. The chat board is a fucking dumpster fire. Well, that's what I expect. It's I don't know. I don't need that kind of drama in my life. I like drama, you know that. I don't want to be, involved. Michael says 100 SEK is 10 USD. Yeah, you can see that because of the coloring of that. It gives you at least a rough estimate because YouTube has the color coordinated chat system. My gaming crew gets the occasional ass hat, but a dose of Buckley uses it on live stream to do call-in like radio. He was a radio host, so it makes sense. If I did a call-in show, I would probably do it that way. The reason there's several reasons I don't do a call-in show. One, I'm pretty sure my computer could handle it. My internet couldn't. But two, if I did a call-in show, it would be more like they do with real call radio. There's so many of these people who do call-in shows, and the people who call in should never go on the air. I'm sorry, guys. I don't mean to be mean, and I'm not saying that some people are better than other people, but some people are better guests. Some people are better callers than other people. And one thing would be like, okay, how was their audio? And you need a producer for something like that. Somebody who does nothing but go through and like, okay, what were you calling about? And you don't have to give a specific. This is always something on the call-in shows. I don't know if you guys know how regulated those things are, but they have screeners who listen to the caller and they ask them questions and try to trip them up so that the question that you get on the air, it may not even be the best question ever, but it's not going to be like, we have pictures of Donald Trump's dick. Would you like those, Senator? Sorry, not Senator. That was a Schumer or a Schiff. So a representative. They do a pretty good job of keeping most of that crap out. I don't want to have to fight to even understand what's being said because the audio is so bad. There's a reason for that stuff. Midnight in Exile, thank you. Did you see all these celebs removing their Twitter banner? Really odd and coordinated. Even Kobe. What is their Twitter banner now? Just blank? No, one, thank you for the donation. And no, I didn't see it. Why are they doing it? And how did Kobe do it? Did Kobe pull a Tupac on us? Is he still alive? What are they doing with their banners? Now I have to look. Kobe Bryant. Oh, why is it just black? I'm sorry, not black, blank. What? I don't understand what's going on here. Oh, are we about to have like everybody gets one? Everybody they'll they're going to change it so they have the Chinese flag over it to show solidarity with the Chinese. Remember when everybody did that with France? I understood the messaging behind it and wanting to be a nice person and show, hey, we support you guys. But I saw like so many of you people. If Doomcock can get over 1,000 likes on a stream, surely this poor, sad simian should be able to get over 100. No, Doomcock, he's far more popular than I am. They're changing them to different solid colors. It's some sort of signal. Go look at Tom Hanks. What? So this will be a story later where they tell us why the hell this is happening. Well, see, Tom Hanks's to me looks the same as Kobe's did. That's weird. I don't know why they're doing that. I'm sure we'll find out. I'm sure there will be some message of peace for why we're doing it. Let's see. Did Tom Hanks have anything in, like, did somebody hit him up in some let's see. Wait, I was on Tom Hanks's and then it took me to not Tom Hanks's. There we go. Yeah, apparently Tom Hanks is recovering. But yeah, I'm not seeing any reason. Yeah, it would all have to be in the background because it's not on here. I wonder if one of their agents is like, we got to all do this together. Doomcock will take over the world. I can't say that I've watched a lot of Doomcock. They're changing. Okay, that's what I read. Why are you calling Gamer Valine a nerd? I work with a Kobe, but he's a white guy that's like 5'7" and kind of nerdy. Oh, oh man, you said you work in tech. I'm pretty sure most of the guys you work with are kind of nerdy. Let's be honest. There's not a lot of Jason Mimosas running around in your office. Cryptic, thank you. Rich people virtue signaling. Shock. Yeah, I'm positive that'll be a thing. Oh, you know what? Let's see if Alyssa has it. Alyssa, come here, sweetie. Did you? Nope, she still has her sorry, not sorry, because that's her podcast, you guys. And they want to feel important when no one can praise them for stuff they're bored. I have heard that about a lot of these people. A lot of these celebrities, they're like losing their fucking minds because they're not getting attention right now. Man, it's Mimosa. What's his real name? Moana. Jason Moana. Sorry, we called him Mimosa on the show for so long. I don't know if I can even say his real name. So he's Jason Moana from now on. You'd be shocked how many gym bunnies are in tech. Yeah, I would be. Momoa. Yeah, Moana. That's what I said. Don't correct me when I'm right. If they're virtue signaling, they'd be saying why and encouraging everyone else to do it. Not necessarily, Midnight. They could be doing it so they can set up this so that you can see which ones of them have done it once it's announced. It's hilarious watching people lose their minds in isolation. I've been an introvert my entire life. I'm not an introvert, and this gives me my outlet for that. When I worked at the machine shop, I almost lost. I realized I was losing my mind in there. I was fucking losing my mind. I didn't have a lot of time with my family, a lot of time with my friends because I was working 10-hour days. And by the time I got home, everybody was asleep. I didn't get home. I didn't get out until 2:30 in the morning. Home, depending on where the shop was, because they didn't move it at one time. Originally, it took me half an hour to get home and then 10 minutes to get home. So I wasn't home until 3 o'clock in the morning. Everybody's asleep. And when you come off a shift like that, I'm not ready for work. So I'd stay up for 3 or 4 hours and go to bed right as everybody's waking up, and then wake up, have dinner, right back out. And I'm in this place that's so loud, you can't really communicate with people. And I was going nuts. Cryptic, thank you. I'm a gym rat. I work in tech. Stop it. You're Asian. Gamer Valine, thank you. No, one of my engineers has sleeves. We're in Arizona, so most tech labs repair are a ton of veterans and gun enthusiasts. They're a bunch of bikers. Nonsense. They're all nerds. I've seen the movies. How dare you? How dare you lie to me? My wife is in here shaking her head, laughing at me. I love you.
Love you. Good morning, chat.
She says, good morning, chat. Is there any way you'd roll me a couple of those? Thank you. You don't have to do it yet. Anyway, yeah, I've seen all the movies. Everybody that works in tech looks like Gilbert and Lewis. And if you don't know who they are, your life makes me sad. And Ex-Bubba Hotep says, good morning, Lady Monk. So does Asian hippie. Angry Illinoisan. Holy crap. I just screwed your name all up. I'm not saying anymore because I just screwed up. Everybody says hi. And then Asian hippie did it. I was like preemptive there.
Good morning.
Danger says, we've all seen the IT crew or crowd. We all know what IT looks like. Indeed. How dare you try to lie to me and tell me that they're anything but weakling little nerds that you can push down and take their lunch money. Gamer Valine says, morning, Lady Monkey. Contain your man. He needs to stop watching so many movies. They are ruining him. I don't think you can blame the movies for that. I was born this way.
Who are you, Lady Gaga?
Yes. Oh. I wasn't going to tell the people. She just doxed me, you guys. Thank you, Suzanne Wild, who says, hello, Lady Monk. Grandma Life rocks.
Grandma Life does rock.
Thank you so much. Nerds. My favorite thing about that movie is there's a couple of things, but when I went back and watched it when I was much older and I realized Dan from Roseanne was the coach of the football team, like, that's John Goodman. Holy crap. And I already knew that Edward, whatever the fuck his name is, played Gilbert. So that didn't come as a shock. And then you realize that Lewis rapes the cheerleader because she thinks she's having sex with Stan. Like, oh my God, this is a rape movie. Still a great movie, though. I recommend it highly. Remember Lambada. I just said that all wrong. That's Lambda. And
wow.
What? I can't read.
The tart is strong with you.
Lambada. Lambda, and the Omega moves. Moves. Dear Christ.
The tart is strong with you.
That's harsh, and I'm going to hear nothing but that from the chat for the next month. Thank you. Thank you. She's such a sweetheart, you guys. Here on stage tonight to do a show for you. Yeah, I love that movie. The Tri-Lambs and the Omega moves. I just said it again with the V. Stop looking at me like that. She's judging me. Booger was the best, but he wasn't a nerd in the sense that the others were. He wasn't like a computer nerd. He wasn't like Poindexter and like Lamar wasn't a computer nerd. He was just gay, so nobody liked him. And Booger was just disgusting, so nobody liked him. They had various degrees of nerd. Cryptic, thank you. The tart is strong with this one. God damn you. See what you did?
Amen.
You married me. They're just watching. You actually married me.
That was before the tart stuck in.
Oh, my God. Booger's on American Dad. He's been on quite a few things. He was the guy on Better Off Dead who was going to snort everything. He snorted Jello in one scene, I believe. And then he snorted snow and yeah. Anyone. Oh, God. Zombie Teddy says, wahaha. The retard is strong with you. That just made my morning. Good morning, Lady Monkey.
Good morning.
I told you. This is all I'm going to hear. You suck.
Yeah, whatever.
That wasn't an insult. That was a order.
Nope.
Yeah, I figured. Oh, my God. So what else do we have to talk about here today? I'm not done yet, guys. I'm not done yet. Tokyo Olympics. I thought they had canceled those. Have they not done it yet? Oh, they're going to begin on July 23rd, 2021. Yep, they put it off for a month. God, oh, fuck me.
The tart is strong with this one.
I love you.
I'm just going to stand here and say that.
You're just going to chat in the background?
Yep.
Thank you. We'll get that on a soundboard, and I'll just play it
Yep.
The tart is strong with the triple knot jack. Thank you so much, RVA Dar. Isn't she a peach, you guys? Is she a peach? I love you. Yeah. So they put it off for a year. Hopefully the coronavirus is done by 2021. I'd heard they were talking about doing that, just putting it off a year. God, that's a hit to their economy too, man. Not to mention, I wonder if they're going to keep the same teams, because you have to, try out for the Olympic team. Have people already made the Olympic teams? I'd imagine they'd have to, because you got to give them time to get money together for the travel and everything. Thank you, Cryptic, who says, when you're late, you could be tardy. Indeed. Are you calling Lady Monkey a fruit? No, she's a sweetheart. She's a peach. So yeah, a little bit. It's one of my, ever since Tombstone, I really like that compliment. Using peach as a compliment. I also will occasionally say you're no Daisy. Maybe I do need to stop watching movies. Maybe you're right, gamer. Maybe you were right. I don't want to say that out loud, but maybe you're right. Man, you know what? There's nothing really to say about the Olympics being put off other than, well, yeah. But it's blowing up, you guys. It's blowing up because coronavirus 3. What the hell is this? What is coronavirus 3? Deadass thought we were going to have coronavirus 3, like we skipped the second mutation and went straight to super coronavirus brothers 3. I don't know what that even means. Here's your $2. Thank you, Chicago Mike. I want my $2. They also kill that kid. I mean, he doesn't die because they show him and he's alive, but they push his little shit ass off a mountain. Always quote Tombstone. Tombstone is a great movie. If you've never seen Tombstone, man, you have to. Did you see the Twitter vid of a China asshole rubbing masks on his shoes? No. Why would you do that? Did you see the reporter asking Trump about the I want them to appear to be appreciative quote? Trump pushed him till he gave that full quote. Oh, did he? Good. No, I missed that because, look, that's... I get that everything in our world has to be political, has to be. But what's going on with this? I'm your Huckleberry. Oh, I like that quote too, man. DBS Lord. I've used that a few times too, especially in games. I'm your Huckleberry. Anyway, I was. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. The politicization of this is just so bad, so bad. To the point of being absolutely ridiculous, absolutely retarded, and to the point of making things actually worse. My governor coming out and saying that somebody has told these companies, she wouldn't say who, but somebody has told these companies that they shouldn't send stuff to Michigan. And then she comes back and she goes, well, no, that's not what I meant. It's what you fucking said. You fucking said it. This isn't like Donald Trump being taken out of context. That is the actual fucking context. More people should quote from the movie Pump Up the Volume. Is it as big as a baby's arm? Then there was that Chuck Todd asking Biden, the mother of God. Then there was Chuck Todd asking Joe Biden if Trump had blood on his hands. I didn't see that either. I saw Joe Biden telling a story about how in the 1960s, his dad took him to fill out an application and he saw two guys kissing and his dad was just like, they're just in love, Joe, ignore it. Okay, I didn't watch the whole video. I couldn't watch it. But he's making it sound like his dad is giving him this really insightful speech and stuff. And if you pay attention, Joe was like in his 20s at the time this happened. He's making it sound like he was 14. Yeah, it's just weird. Does Trump have pussy hair on his hands? No, because these days most starlets shave that away. Holy shit, Monkey, you haven't seen Pump Up the Volume? Watch that shit. It's super relevant to YouTube nowadays. Thank you, baby. I love you. What do you mean I haven't seen Pump Up the Volume? What I just asked, is it as big as a baby's arm, is a quote from Pump Up the Volume. When the fat chick calls in and she's making a joke, or she's trying to say, was it that her brother pulled his dick out or something? And he asked her, was it as big as a baby's arm? Come on, man. Oh, that's not what you heard me say. Yeah, that's what I said. Is it as big as a baby's arm? I love Pump Up the Volume. It's a great great movie about days gone by, back when you had to have FCC approval before you could put your voice out there over the radio. And Christian, oh god, what's his name? Slater, Christian Slater. He's the main character in there who runs a pirate radio station. Yeah. It's been a long time since I've watched it. And at the end, he's driving around and in the van, sending out the signal, and the police eventually zero in on him. Again, another dumbass movie from back then that was still good, because it's a really dumb movie in premise, but it's a fun movie. High schooler has to be tracked down by the feds. It's one of the reasons I like YouTube, even with all of its flaws and stuff, is Jeep, not a van. I'm sorry, Teddy. It's been a while since I've seen it. YouTube has allowed us to do that, man. YouTube has given us the ability, even with the constraints they put on us, they give us the ability to share our thoughts like this. And back in the day, you couldn't. Maybe if you paid for a public access television thing. Somebody earlier was listening to me from I was going to say the nether regions. Fuck. Maybe I should have stopped. But listen, Canada. Somebody up in Canada just ran up into somebody else in Canada who knew who I was. And that's fucking amazing. That never would have happened back then. Until YouTube, that shit didn't happen. Because you had to get onto a television show or into a movie or something like that, or an actual radio station that would syndicate you. Howard Stern. I don't know if you guys have read his books, but there's a great part I think it's in Private Parts, where he tells it. I've read both of his books and they kind of run together for me. But there's a great part in one of them where he's talking about how he was well known in New York, and he goes out to Los Angeles to film Hollywood Squares, and nobody knew who he was. So like nobody called on him the whole time he was there. And by this time, Howard Stern's actually becoming a big figure all along the East Coast. But the West Coast had no fucking idea who Howard Stern was, because he was a disc jockey up in fucking New York. Yeah, these days, man, yeah. Fire up a YouTube channel, man. You have a good chance of being heard all across the fucking world. Everybody needs to read Dennis Leary's book. It's called Why We Suck, a Feel-Good Guide to Being Fat, Bloated, and Ignorant in America. I'm kind of torn on Leary. Because he is a known joke thief, and I'm not being mean here. That's just true. He, back in the day when he was doing his act, at least, he stole quite a bit of Bill Hicks's stuff. And I don't like to reward that kind of behavior, but he is a funny guy on his own. I wish he would have just done it all on his own, because one of my favorite movies is The Ref. If you've never seen The Ref, check it out. And Leary does a great job in there, but he's still just Dennis Leary in that movie. There are 3 rings of marriage: the engagement ring, the wedding ring, and the suffering. Ha! I see what you did there, RJ. From Never Neverland. Wow. No. Hubs has finished his morning commute from the bedroom to the living room and turned on GMA loudly. I'm going to be divorced or in jail by the end of this quarantine. Oh, yeah. Just remember, I mean, is he not normally home, Suzanne? I do wonder about that too. How many couples are going to break up over this shit? I've always said this, you need to get away from your spouse. You can't do everything together. I don't care how much you like each other. I don't care how much you're you like all the same things. You need some alone time. And maybe not even alone time, just time away from them. Absence makes the heart grow fonder, as they say. You don't need to be gone a long time. Like one of my favorite things to do back then, working was part of it, but the other part, going golfing. Take 3 hours out just to myself to go golfing. And Lady Monkey, want to do something? Go do something. So Lady Monkey has left the room. Well, she has, but I mean, we've talked about this together before. Like, look, you need to go away right now. Wait, I just need you to go away. Like, oh, it was usually her saying it to me. So maybe that was part of it. Like, I need you to leave right now. Like, all right, I'll go find something to do. Yeah. After 26 years, who'd have thought he better never retire? Exactly. Yeah, he needs to go back to work so you can miss him. That's what I'm getting at. And 26 years, that's where we're at. I think 27 is this year. Yeah, 27 in August. So it has taken a lot of getting used to with us both being home all the time. But it is a 2-story house, and she's upstairs most of the time, and I'm down here most of the time. So we get our separation that way. TikTok has been great for the parents and adults our age. It's funny to watch the 25 to 35-year-old parents that are all taken away from their kids. There's one of us, a husband looking for his wife all over the house, and she locked herself in a childproof pantry with a cup of milk and cookies. I may check the link in a little bit. Dangerous. We'll see what happens. Suzanne says we don't have a big enough house. Just try to be understanding. Do you work outside of the home, Suzanne? Because that can be another thing that's really a shakeup. You have one person who's outside of the house all the time, and the other one is inside of the house all the time, and everything's fine until the other one comes home. Because then you got to get to that compromise stuff where, like, okay, I'm not watching what you watch all day long because that's garbage. We gotta watch something I like once in a while. Now, with Lady Monkey is really Lady Monkey. I know she sounds Canadian and she kind of acts Canadian. She's very, very sweet. Like, we'll sit down for our dinner, and it's just the two of us until coronavirus happened. She's like, what do you want to watch? I'm like, whatever you want is fine. I don't care. She's like, no, what do you want to watch? I'm like, nothing. I know. You can. When I sit down, if I do sit down to watch something, it's always something I've already seen because I can't pay attention very well. Sometimes I can focus, and sometimes, the pain, it just makes it like I can't focus on this shit right now. So, like, watch whatever you want to watch, honey. But she's too sweet. Too sweet. No, I'm medically retired. I feel you, sweetie. I feel you. But yeah, you got to have, yep. Housewives have a routine. All of us husbands are learning this shit, isn't it? It's an interesting thing to learn. Yeah. And you get in their way. Even if you're trying to be helpful, what can I do? It's like, and she's like, you can go away now. I don't know Lady Monkey, but I do know Sugar Tits 270. What? I don't know the 270 part. Since I work that weird schedule, I'm around my boyfriend a lot. I'm glad we work at the separate campuses that are 5 miles apart, though. Yeah, it helps. You got to have some alone time. You really do. And even if it's to do something like a chore around the house, like get out, go away. Not to mention, after a while, if you guys stay perfectly together all the time, there comes a point we have nothing left to talk about. You've already talked about everything that happened before you met. You've talked about growing up. You've talked about your separate work days. But once you come together, do you remember that show we watched last night? It's like, there's only. Oh, I number my comments. It's discipline. Oh, fair enough. I didn't notice you do it before. My bad. Yes, Sugar Tits is a sweetheart. I actually feel bad because we did the tongue buttering thing to her twice. And yeah, the second time she was on with was it Roaming and a bit of Brit? I wonder what happened to a bit of Brit. Does anybody know if she's still around? I used to love her Twitter, and she got kicked off for being mean to fat people. A bit of Brit was great. I'm sure she's still around on YouTube, but I haven't seen her in a while. But yeah, they're having this intellectual discussion, and somebody jumps in there with tongue buttering the turtle cave, and she's like, "I hate this shit." Oops. Baby, just stay in bed and don't say a single thing until you're hungry or horny. There you go, Jeanette. We get in their way. We do. Or, I mean, if you're a house husband and she comes home, like, she's going to get in your way. There was a husband and wife that worked in our office. I don't see how that would be tolerable. They have to have some separate stuff somewhere. That or they hate each other deep down. No, I didn't talk to tongue buttering to Roaming directly. I've never asked. I don't think I've asked anybody that directly unless it was brought up on a show. However, our beautiful fans used to super chat it to people. And yeah, they did it to Sugar Tits twice. A bit of Brit hasn't uploaded in a year. Oh, that sucks. I loved her stuff. She's a very sweet lady too. I've only got to talk to her briefly, but every time I did, really sweet girl. What else do we have? I now only wear shorts and an undershirt and nothing else. It feels nice. Oh, a bit of British preggers. Oh, good for her. I hope everything goes very well for her. Oh, man, I saw a baby was born yesterday. Somebody posted on Twitter. I'm like, what a weird time to have a baby. What a weird time that they have sex separately. Stop it, all you need. Sugar Tits lives with Bearing. Roaming, however, I feel dirty even thinking someone said something so foul to Roaming. Roaming's a sweetheart. I've got to talk to her on a couple of occasions, and I don't know how she would be with it now because she's more mainstream, and good for her for that. But I mean, she would have taken it as the joke it was, I'm sure. A number of my donations too, but I can't donate to you. Oh, that's fine, and I appreciate the thought. I really do, and I really am sorry that I don't have other ways to do it because, well, I like money. Roaming Millennial. Yes, Roaming Millennial, Mark. Or Lauren Chen, as she's known now. Yeah, she's one of the few people that's made me think I should do a face reveal. Watching how she's proceeded and managed to make a real career out of this. I think part of that is being able to show your face. Again, I wouldn't be able to do that until I got better internet because, yeah, trying to upload video, my computer just goes, no, try again. Not today. Not today. I need AT&T to fix their shit. Have a good night, Evolved Potato. Not saying she would take it seriously. She just seems too innocent for such filth. No, I get what you were saying there. But she has a very good sense of humor. And she's not like a dirty whore, but she's also not the innocent little thing you think she is. She's a millennial who grew up in fucking public school. So face reveal helps Sargon too. Indeed. Face reveal and a set. Yeah, I mean, I do wonder what you guys would think if you saw me, though. I bet she's dirty. Stop it, Torcular. You're not allowed to talk about Roaming like that. You're going to make people hate you. Just wait until after you get doxxed. I'm not that worried about it. Good morning, Sassy. Miss Shelley's in the chat. Oh, you want to talk about sweetheart? She puts up with Sinatra. That woman's got patience by the bucket load. And look, I'm saying this about my friend. I love the man, but that woman has some patience by the bucket load. Imagine that on a future book jacket. Lauren Chen, she's not a whore. Oh, I could see that actually. Streamlabs, cognitive thought goes through stream elements. Maybe try that, monkey. I don't know if it would have the same problem. I'd have to talk to Badger because I know Badger uses that as well. Sharon, thank you so much. Glad I caught your stream. Good morning from the UK. Good morning. I hope you're waking up to a wonderful day. Okay, fit. No, I don't know what that's actually talking about. Oh, you were having trouble actually hearing what was going on. I get you. That's why you were meaning me about a movie I watched, and I actually quoted after you said we should be able to quote it. Okay, thank you so much. Could also accidentally keep your webcam on again. I've never had a webcam on. I don't have a webcam hooked up. Stream Elements uses the same thing as Streamlabs. They still require PayPal and credit cards and that information. Yeah, Pincalo, they still require, but whether or not they report it the same way, that's the question. Because it's not that I can't take credit card payments. It's what happens when I do take them and people get my information. Like, oh, because it pinpoints it down to the city, and that's not a good thing. A dark reality sets in. President beats a retreat on reopening the U.S. Oh my God! Can I point this out seriously? I'm gonna go back on this. Just Corona for a minute. I'm sorry, guys. If when they first started talking about staying indoors, not going out in public, not going into crowds, if everybody did it, we'd be done with it already. Seriously, we'd be done with it already. If people started right now, we couldn't make the Easter deadline yet, or still, right? What's today? We'd missed the Easter deadline. Yeah, by a couple of days. But right after Easter, we could all start going back out. If everybody would just fucking do it, it'd be over with. We'd have our 2 weeks. I still don't think 2 weeks is long enough. Seriously, you'd have to go at least 3 if that's what you're doing. But it would be done. And yeah, you could start opening things back up. But no, because we're stupid. We're fucking stupid. Many states should open, like Wyoming and Ohio or Idaho. All you got to do is take a couple of weeks off. You'll be fine. Instead, we're going to end up shutting down the U.S. for 6 months because people are fucking retarded. Cryptic, thank you. I know Monkey's city of residence. It's Detroit. You're going to get some dude named Frank in trouble down in Detroit. There are a lot of Franks in Michigan. I've looked it up. There are actually several with my exact name. I was surprised because my name is I thought quite unique. And yeah, apparently there's a poor dentist in New York with my name. That dude who tried to dox me, he gave it the information for some motherfucker in New York. How many times do I have to tell you I'm in Michigan, you dumb motherfucker? But yeah, he's a dentist in New York. And I hope that guy didn't get too much shit. I hope he didn't get too much shit. China wasn't being honest also. Well, that's true. But look, they started talking about shutdowns and stuff mid-March, easy, at least 2 weeks ago. If everybody had done it right then, all right, we're just going to stop. You've already ordered all the businesses and shit closed. The businesses were ordered closed before started closing before our governor finally came out and said, yeah, close everything. The businesses were like, yeah, we're not going to get everybody sick. Everybody just stayed in. 3 weeks, guys, 3 weeks. Because the longest gestation period I've seen on this is 21 days. 3 weeks. Stay in your fucking house. Only go out if you absolutely have to. And while you're out, cover your mouth as best you can. Done. Reopen. Start everything right back up. But no. Now we're going to keep shit down for months now. This may last until the middle of May. That's the newest one I've seen. The middle of fucking May. For a 2-week shut-in. The fuck is wrong with us? The weekend numbers were just released, and I think we just passed 5,000 cases in 3 provinces. Sorry to hear that, man. I didn't realize there were that many Frank McDick faces. Thank you for that at midnight. You and I haven't talked in a long time. You should come on the show. I'm not going to bring you on right now because this show's not going to go much longer, but you should come on the show again soon. Can I still go out for thoughts? No, you can get those in e-form on the internet. Our hospitals are not too overcrowded because they're saying if you ain't dying, stay away. I also wonder how much of that's going on with us. How many people? Because we're overcrowding the hospitals. Of course we are, because they told you to panic. No one is listening to quarantine here. There's still traffic everywhere. I was talking to my son because he works for a restaurant, so he still goes to work every day. And yeah, it's like, how's traffic out there? That is normal. Oh, beautiful. So there's still dumbasses everywhere. Good morning, Data. Hope you're well, man. I don't feel these shelter-in-place orders should be legal. Section 3, the people have the right to peacefully assemble, to consult for common good, to instruct. You know what? How about this? How about, let's say they're not constitutional, but how about we do it anyway? How about we do it out of respect for each other? Cody Fry, thank you. I would love to stay home and not expose myself or others to the virus, but my boss seems to think that janitors are essential employees for a school that is currently closed. Yeah, if the school's already closed, how many times can you clean it? Janitors are absolutely essential right now. They are. And that sucks for you guys. But if it's in a place that's closed, yeah, clean it and leave. Good morning, Snoot. How you doing, my friend? The streets in Lake Worth will be barren by 7 to 8 o'clock. Yeah, but I don't know. Public health opens a lot of latitude for controlling the public. Look, we're Americans, so we fight back against any control. It's just how we are. But throwing this out there, if you make that decision yourself, nobody's controlling you. If you look at what's going on and you go, you know what? Maybe it's not worth it to go. Well, everything's closed. Where the fuck are you going to go? Just stay home. And I get it. People are bored. Well, go out in your yard and work. And well, you don't have a yard. Okay. Go sit in the bathtub and pretend you're swimming. I'm just saying, I'm with you guys. I don't believe that the government should be ordering us into our house. But if the government says, hey, guys, you should really shelter in place. How about we just shelter in place? How's it hurting you? Because you're an American who gets bored easy, even though you have all kinds of things to distract you. All kinds of shit to distract you. Seriously. I'm just saying, pick your battles before being a dick to officials. No, I'm with you on that, Torcular. But we are Americans, and that's what we do. We fight back, and we fight authority, which is a good thing. It really is. It really, really is. Monkey, I think it's been totally blown out of proportion. The government shouldn't be issuing orders at all. Look, I agree it's been blown out of proportion, but that doesn't mean it's not still serious. You have to think about this, and maybe I'm like this in everyday life anyway. Like, do I want to chance dying to go get something? Not really. Most of the time, no. I spend my time drawing, mostly been pretty productive, actually. Managed to finish a lot of unfinished art. Well, there you go. Man, do you know how many things there's so many things you can do. If you have a computer and you're listening to me on one right now, you have the world at your fingertips. Even if you can't play like a bunch of high-tech games, there's all kinds of shit you can do. All kinds of shit. Hard to be distracted by stuff when a lot of people are distracted by how this is screwing them over big time. I guess I understand what you're saying, but most of what I heard isn't people just sitting around worried all the time. It's people like, I don't know what to do with myself. How do I spend this time? Those are the people I'm talking to. If you're out there just paranoid about it because of what's happening to you, sometimes legitimately, and sometimes like, calm down, bitch. You need to learn how to put shit out of your mind because you can't change it. You can't change it. I have this advice for people anytime there's something bad going on in their lives. Fix what you can. Make a plan to fix what you can. And then move on. Because you're not going to... Worrying has never fixed a fucking thing ever. Just sitting around worrying. Just like, oh my God, this is so horrible. I don't know how to fix this. I need it done now and I can't. That does nothing. Here's what you do. Make a plan for what you can fix and the rest of it you don't worry about. But I'm talking about my mortgage, monkey. It's going to fix itself one way or another, motherfucker. Go get another job. Go do something. Go do something productive to fix it. Or stop worrying about it. Those are your two choices. Sitting around just doing nothing, working yourself up, fixes nothing. My computer shot itself and is dead, so it's going to be about a decade before I can get a new one. Oh, that sucks, Green Thunder. Sorry to hear that. Oh. Monk, have you heard that the 3 China telecom companies had 20 million subscribers vanish between December 19th and February 2020? Yes, I have. I haven't seen that in a source. Somebody brought it up in our chat. I wouldn't doubt that because that number makes a lot more sense. That still seems quite high to me. But you're talking about, there's no way it's 90,000. Sorry, China, you lying motherfuckers. China's lying, you guys. I will say that without qualifying that statement at all. China is lying about their coronavirus numbers. Period. There's no fucking way their numbers are true. Oh, it's mind over blood. How you doing, man? I talked about you a little while ago. Mind over matter. If you don't mind it, it don't matter. Yeah, Lady Monkey's. She actually gets mad at me because I don't get worked up about things. I focus on it. I do what I can, and then I go about my fucking day. I don't sit there just dwelling. Doesn't help. Some of those 20 million would be people that had business and home number accounts. That could be. Did you talk about Joe Diffie dying? I did not. And you don't have to apologize for falling asleep. Look, Nuts, I love you, sweetheart, but you do not have to be at my beck and call, sweetie. I understand that you need sleep sometimes because your sleep schedule is worse than mine. Why do I know this guy? He's a country music star. Oh, I want to talk about that story too. That was one of the ones I meant to talk about. Joe Diffie, American country music singer. After working as a demo singer in the 80s, he signed with Epic Records in Nashville in 1990. Okay, I need to... Somebody help me with a popular song he sung. John Deere Green song. I'm not familiar. Maybe I've heard his name and never really paid attention to his music. Pickup Man, his longest lasting #1 song at 4 weeks and bigger than the Beatles. Oh, Our Love's Bigger Than the Beatles. I have heard that song. Okay, yeah, okay, I know who he is. Well, rest in peace, sir. I hope it goes well for you up there in whichever afterlife you ended up in. That song with like the words and stuff, that one was good. Shut up, Dangerous. 12-hour monkey in the morning. No, it won't be that. It won't be that long. Stand Me Up next to the jukebox. Yeah, I'm not sure. How do you not know John Deere Green? Probably wasn't listening to a lot of country at the time. I go in different cycles, you guys, of what I'm listening to at any time. So there's a lot of stuff I miss. I can't listen to everything, man. Sometimes I had to work, and that's the 90s. So that was a lot of, most of my time was spent on those 10-hour days I was talking about earlier. No, I wanted to talk because reliable sources, the Brian Stelter show over there on the CNN, he had Stephen King on to talk about the coronavirus. He brought Stephen King in to talk about the coronavirus because Stephen King is an expert in infectious disease, I guess. I don't know. I don't know why he would do that. It's weird. It's kind of like, you ever notice that sometimes these fucking celebrities get called up to Capitol Hill to testify on stuff that they don't know fuck all about, or they're repeating shit they read. And instead of getting the authors of the studies or whatever it is they pull out of their ass, they bring the Hollywood star up there. I think it's just to get autographs, to be honest. Jake, you know what? Maybe that's it. Expert at scaring people. That would be right. He did write a novel about it. Sure. Apparently, there was an exchange there where Brian asked him, some people are saying this is like a Stephen King book, and King's like, yeah, I wish it wasn't. Like, that is hard-hitting news right there. But this is Brian Stelter and Reliable Sources, where they once did a segment on why Donald Trump has so many typos in his tweets. Swear to God, I'm not making that up. You can go look that shit up. This is a Sunday news program where they had a segment about Donald Trump misspelling shit on Twitter. And now they brought in Stephen King to give his expert analysis of the coronavirus. But they don't want Donald Trump doing daily briefings. We got to stop Donald Trump in those daily briefings because his numbers are going up too high. Oh, and Mr. Trump, you stupid son of a bitch. He tweeted out a quote from somebody else about how good his ratings are doing. Not the time or the place, sir. Not the time or place. Now, I'm not like other people who are going to tell you, you should be worried. You should have tweeted about people dying. You don't have to do that either. You don't have to be a negative Nancy. And you can point out good things that have happened. But that was such a self-aggrandizing piece of shit tweet at the wrong fucking time. This is the kind of shit that he does that drives me insane. I get that that's part of what some people like about him, is that he'll brag about shit from time to time. Okay. And most of the time I don't mind. Most of the time, like, all right, you be you, whatever. You're talking about in the middle of the coronavirus, you're tweeting it up about how great your ratings are doing because of the fucking virus. Really? Mr. President, look, I know you like your Twitter. And I know that people give you a whole bunch of shit, and you're the kind of person who has to brag to prove them wrong. In this case, just this instant, just this time, stop it. Stop it. For fuck's sake. Go back to, you know what? I would prefer if he called like Brian Stelter a stupid little herpes scab. That would have made more sense to me. There's a good interview by the YouTube channel Asian Boss with the head virus doctor of South Korea. Very informative. Oh, is he the one where they were talking about somebody had said masks aren't really that important? And he's like, no, they are very important. I didn't see it, but I saw some pictures about it. I agree. Bragging about ratings during a crisis is kind of dirty. Yeah, it's not a good look. It's not a good look. He's already been able to get good ratings and get his approval rating up, and his handling of this virus is 60% in the Gallup poll, 51% in a Washington Post poll. Those are good numbers, especially considering all the shit he's getting. And you know what, Mr. Trump, I hope you smile at night when you go to bed thinking about that. Good for you. But don't be out there. Don't brag about it on Twitter, for fuck's sake. That looks like shit. And I don't think the president has done a bad job. I don't know if he's been perfect in this. I don't know how I would have reacted if I was the president, especially when you have places like the World Health Organization in the middle of fucking January saying that, it's not transmutable between people. They were still saying that in mid-January. The World Health Organization, not the Trump White House. They fucking tweeted that out. You can find it. I wish I had remarked on the post that I saw because it's out there. So, he didn't react fast enough. 2 weeks later, he shut down travel to China. 2 weeks after the World Health Organization was said that. And he was still, this probably is not going to be that big of a deal. But who's better, Obama or Trump as president? Trump. Obama was a horrible president. He was a horrible president who did a lot of bad shit and got away with it because the press was too busy sucking his dick. If he was treated like Trump, I don't know that he gets a second term, even with all of the support for being the first black president, because he was horrible, man. The WHO is not fit for purpose. You know what? They're really not. I don't know how at that time they were still saying that, because it's not transmutable between humans is what they're basically saying. You can't cough on somebody and give it to them. What? How the fuck did it spread so fast? Is everybody touching the same dashboard or something? Where's it coming from? What the fuck? Obama would have fucked us all if he was president during this. Honestly, look how he handled N1H1. For all of you freaking out about this, and yes, I'll be honest right now that we'll probably have more deaths from this overall than we had from N1H1. But N1H1, the numbers from that were absolutely astounding. 12,000 people died over the course of a year, 1,000 a month, basically. And people are freaking out. Oh my God, we have so many deaths right now. We not yet. We're getting there, but not yet. And that's because Obama didn't handle it very well at all. And if the press had reacted then, the way they're reacting now, maybe so many people wouldn't have died that year. But remember, this is President Obama, who had no scandals. No scandals. Sorry if you covered this, but not to change this topic, but is Bernie Sanders still in the race? Two things, Cheryl. One, you don't have to apologize for changing topics. People do it all the time. That's what Monkey in the Morning is. We are a topic changeable show. Two, yes, he's still in the race. Nobody cares about him because he's probably going to lose, but yeah, he's still in the race. We still have a vote coming up. Is it April 4th or April 7th? April 7th. You know what? I'm not positive. I don't want to say that out loud until I want to say April 7th. April 7th primary. Let's see if I got the right date here. Yeah, April 7th in, what is this, Wisconsin? Yes. As of right now, there's April 7th there's supposed to be a primary. He's going to lose it anyway. There's no reason to even have it, but what they should do is throw Andrew onto the ticket so people can actually vote for him. Monkey in the Morning is that kid who gets distracted by a squirrel and follows that instead. Look, man, I have a lot of opinions that I am willing to share, and I'm okay with that. Look, don't judge me just because I'm judgeable. Is anybody else having a problem with Twitter being extremely slow? Blood, if you'd like to hang out for the last of the show here, I don't know how much longer I'm going to go, but I did toss you a link. Man. So yeah, he's still in it. There was something else that somebody had mentioned earlier that, somebody asked, better president, LBJ or Nixon? It depends on they both sucked. For helping the country, man. That's actually a hard one. I'm going to call it a wash. How about that? We'll just call it a wash. You're still going. It's 3 hours now. Yeah, 3 hours and 4 minutes. I'm not ready to end yet. I just got robocalled in Chinese. You better wash that phone, man. You better disinfect it. I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. Sorry, China. I'm just joking. I stumped the monk. I win. Well, there's things that both men did that were good for the country. But there's also LBJ and both of these guys, horrible fucking racists, man. Nixon, because LBJ got us into Vietnam. LBJ didn't get us into Vietnam. He just escalated it to a ridiculous degree. And Nixon pulled us out. The Civil Rights Act was needed at the time, whether you like it or not. It was needed at the time, and LBJ signing this 1964 Civil Rights Act was a good thing. How it's been perverted even then or since is, debatable. Yeah, that is a hard one because they were both shitty and had a few bright spots. Nixon, you guys ever listen to the Nixon tapes? Oh my God. That dude was fucking insane. He was paranoid. You'd have thought he had COVID the way he's paranoid. That motherfucker was, whew. And he fucking hated everybody. Blacks, Jews, everybody. Now, he didn't hate them in the way that, a typical racist would, like he'd never work with them or anything. He just hated them behind their backs. He was so bad. LBJ took out JFK. There's that theory. I don't think LBJ was that smart, to be honest with you. There is a great call. There's a great call between LBJ and, was it Eisenhower? I think it might have been Ike. I can't remember. One of the former presidents. And some international figure died. I forget who it was. And LBJ couldn't go, and for some reason the vice president couldn't go. So he calls up the former president, and he's like, "I need you to go to this thing." And I think it was I want to say it was Ike, and he's like, "I can't." And LBJ is like, "You're going to this thing. I need you to go. Get your ass on a plane and go." And I was like, "Damn!" And so it happened. Yeah, LBJ. I wish that they would tape everything in the White House again. I enjoy listening to those tapes. The way these presidents have acted. If you listen to the LBJ tapes and you listen, it's the Nixon tapes especially, holy fuck, man. I would love to hear those about Trump, though. I would love to hear those in the Obama White House, like how he actually, like everything that went on right before Benghazi. I would love to hear all the phone calls and stuff. We don't do that anymore, though. And I don't understand why. I don't understand why our government is so secretive. I do, because they need power. And in order to maintain power, you need secrecy. So, yeah, I would love to hear it, though. Hey, Bloodwing, how you doing? How you been, man?
What? What's going on, monkey buddy? I'm doing all right.
I see you said you've decided to take the week off.
Yeah, it wasn't an easy decision because I had a lot of internal conflict, about it.
Right.
On the one hand, my self-preservation said, hey, take care of yourself. You're in the high risk, firmly in the high risk. And not too many ways you can protect yourself, behind a cash register.
Sure. And dealing with money is one of the
good God,
dirtiest things you can do.
You ain't joking. But then on the other hand, I am a baby boomer. I was raised with a strong work ethic. So those two were fighting with each other for a while.
No, I get you. And that's why I've been telling people, look, I get it. It sucks. But if you can stay home, stay home.
Yeah.
Find something to do at home. I get it. You'll be all right as long as you're willing to go back to work when this is done. That's what's important.
Yeah. I'm taking this week off and then taking it from there, depending on what our governor does, whether he reopens everything or not. I spent all
Midnight
day
said-
Go ahead.
No, you first.
I spent all day yesterday on the phone to my fellow assistant manager, to my manager, to my assistant district manager, to my district manager, because each of them said, well, you better call this one. You better call that one. But they all said the same thing. We respect it. You know, you got a job when you come back. Don't worry about it. Take care of yourself.
Yeah, it makes sense. Midnight says we're now listening to grumpy old men. No, you're not. We're happy old men.
Yeah. Yeah. Jake Thompson asked me, how did my boss take it? Well, my boss is actually quarantined and has been for a week now.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, that's a whole nother story in itself. Yeah. It didn't go over well with her, but the people that are actually working took it well. So that's what matters.
I was just asked before you got on here, better president, LBJ or Nixon?
Nixon.
See, I'm leaning that they both sucked. I mean,
you want me to qualify that? You know,
sure, if you like.
The main reason, and yes, I know it was very deceptive on Nixon's part, but at least he did get us out of Vietnam. LBJ constantly said that he was going to ramp it down when he was actually ramping it up over in
yeah, and doing things like going into Cambodia and Laos, and yeah,
Nixon done some good things. It's just unfortunate that he's just going to be forever known for that last big mistake that he made.
Well, I mean, I was just telling the people, if you listen to the Nixon tapes, he was also a paranoid racist jackass.
Oh, he was, absolutely.
So, you know, that's a hard one for me to and I get that qualification, and that's what somebody else had said too. LBJ, they said got us into Nam. He actually made it bigger, but yeah. So I get that if that's a good qualification, but if you're looking at him just from a point of view of how they did with policy and stuff, I mean, they're
yeah,
it's kind of a wash.
You know, LBJ only made it into the office because JFK got assassinated to begin with.
Yep.
So, and Nixon actually won 2 terms and won them handily. So,
well, yeah, LBJ's ramping up of Vietnam pretty much made him not run for the second term he could have ran for.
Yeah. But yeah, it is a close one. It's a tough call. It's a tough call.
Is jackass a needed term? Paranoid and racist covered it. Jackass is redundant. No. Jackass is needed there too.
Yeah.
You can be a jackass without being a racist and without being paranoid.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And there's the racist part of him, there's the paranoid part of him, and there's the jackass part of him. And sometimes, yes, they all run together.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you've never listened to the White House tapes, you really should. Just look, you got plenty of time now these days, guys. Go listen to the White House tapes.
Yeah. And besides, wasn't it Nixon that invited Elvis into the White House and made him an unofficial FBI agent or something like that?
Yeah, made him a narc.
Yeah.
Because he was against drugs, except for those prescription ones he was abusing.
Yeah.
Oops.
Somebody said that we could agree that LBJ is sexier. Oh, it was Chris Hastings. I don't know about that, but his wife's name was sexier. Lady Bird. I mean, come on, that's a great name.
They were both crap. Let's just agree Wilson was the worst out of them all. Fair enough.
Yeah. I'll give you that, Brian.
Well, we've had a lot of presidents in our history, and not just in our recent history, but all throughout history, who are forgettable in the long run.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, LBJ, even without the ramp up in Nam, he still has the Civil Rights Act of 64 that will get him in the history books.
Sure.
You take Nixon, you take Nixon getting leaving office out of it, and he's pretty much a forgettable president. Even with getting us out of Nam, he didn't really doing it. Most of
Well,
our presidents don't do anything that is going to last in the history books,
and there was
unless you go like college level.
well, there was also which isn't going to be a popular thing right now given the COVID virus, but there was the China stuff with Nixon too.
Sure, yeah. Only Nixon can go to China.
Well, it seemed so at the time.
Well, but again, the further we get away from that, the less people are even like, what? We go to China all the time. What do you mean? So, I mean, that was a big deal in my history books, Bloodwing.
It sure was.
The China, Nixon going over there, he was the first president in since they turned commie.
Yeah. Yep.
And that was a big deal. But I mean, do you think it really is today?
No, like you said, people are going to forget. I mean, the only thing people are going to remember Nixon for from here on out is Watergate.
Yep, Watergate. That'll be it.
But yeah,
so
right.
when it comes to presidents, it's really hard to judge them that way.
Yeah,
because I'm not a presidential scholar. That's the kind of stuff you have to ask somebody who's much deeper into history than I am.
Like me.
Yeah.
You know me.
Well, presidents in my lifetime, I can do that. Nixon actually, technically, he left in 75?
Mm-hmm.
I think he left. It was either right after I was born or right before I was born. It was in that time frame. So I was a baby around that time. So I don't know fuck all, except for what I've read myself. Right. But even in my lifetime, and I know Carter, I know Reagan and Bush and Clinton and Bush and Obama and Trump pretty well. But I haven't gone back and studied much. I really should.
Yeah. But you have a point. I mean, if you look at the list of presidents, the list of just meh presidents is far greater than the ones that stand out as being great. Yeah.
Sinatra, stop it. He says I'm lying. I was 37 when it happened. I was not. I was born in 75, April of 75. I have a birthday coming up soon.
Yeah, well, you do. April, isn't it?
Yeah, April 22nd, the big 4-5 this year.
Yeah, well, I just had the big 6-0, so yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. I'm not, I don't mind aging.
I don't either. I don't. I've said it many times. I think it's hilarious that I turned 60 because back in the 70s when I was a teenager, you'd be hard pressed to find anybody to give good odds that I would have lived to 30, let alone 60.
So. Well, I think especially for men, I don't know how it is for women, but I think especially for men, there's a lot of us. If you grew up in my time period, maybe it's a little different now that we've made things so safe. But I look back and there's like, oh man, there's so many times I should have died in my life. Oh, just so many times, like, oh my God, playing with gunpowder in empty shell casings, and one of them exploded. Like, how am I alive?
Trust me, Hold My Beer is not just the name of my Star Trek ship.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't mind getting older. It's okay. I'm still, in my mind, invincible. I'm never going to die in my mind. They're going to cure death before it gets me.
I'm at that odd time in my life where I'm old. I mean, there's no way to deny I'm 60. I'm 5 years from retirement. But it honestly seems like yesterday I was just a young man. I'm like,
oh, sure.
Jesus Christ, what happened?
Yeah. It's a blur. I try to tell my children that with their children, like, enjoy it as much as you can. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because you're going to turn around one day and be like, how are you an adult?
Yep.
My baby girl's closer to 30 than she is to 20.
Oh,
she's 20. My baby girl's 27.
My youngest turns 30 this September.
Yeah, my youngest is only 22. So.
And my oldest is closing in on 40. So J-Kid's closing in on 40. So, yeah.
Gamer Valine says, I'm screwed genetically. My family lives long lives. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
There was a movie about the Elvis Nixon meeting with Michael Shannon and Kevin Spacey. I haven't seen it, but I believe you. I mean, it's
I
a famous
remember it.
moment.
Yeah.
LOL, I took a shotgun shell apart with a pair of needle nose pliers when I was a kid. Yeah, I mean, I don't, again, with women, I don't know how it is because I'm not one, but with men, we do a lot of stupid shit. It's like, this could be fun. And sometimes your friend walks with a limp for the rest of his life, and sometimes you're okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we're dumb and brutal and yeah.
That reminds me of the time, speaking of hold my beer, when me and my buddies were riding around back in the 70s, and my buddy just out of the blue says, "See that mailbox? I bet I can punch it while you drive by."
Oh,
And he did.
how'd his hand take it?
Not very well.
Oh, Teddy says, reminder, there's 105 years of experience on the panel currently. No. There's 104 years and 11 months. Hi, baby girl. What you doing? The little one is up.
Oh,
We used to throw rocks on rimfire cartridges. I don't know what that means. Hey, baby, what are you doing? Can you say hi? Can you say hi to Bloodwing?
Hi.
His birthday was
baby.
the other day. Could you say happy birthday?
Happy birthday.
oh, thank you.
He said thank you. Yeah, I'm talking to chat real quick. Is that okay? Have you eaten yet? You haven't had breakfast. What are you going to have?
I don't know.
Okay. I'll come up in just a little bit.
Gotta
That
love
girl.
them. Gotta love them.
That's good. That's good. She's destroyed my door because she hangs off the handle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I have to fix it again. And right now she can't even close it. Oh, is that little butt? Yes, that is little butt. She's the only one that could talk like that, actually. The other two are a little bit too young for that. Oh, man. When every time Lady Monkey holds Peanut, my youngest,
Yeah.
youngest grandchild, she throws up on her. The baby spits up on her every time. Oh,
Yeah. You gotta love it. You gotta love it.
oh. One great grandmother lived 43 years after having a kidney removed. She was 81 when she died. A great grandfather was a coal miner that lived to 78. My grandfather smoked until he died at 90. That's some good genes, sweetie. You better enjoy those.
I have a customer that comes in the smoke shop and buys cigars, and he's 99 years old, still driving himself. It's like, geez.
Yeah, I mean, these days, man. Do you remember Willard Scott used to make a big deal out of people turning 100?
Yeah.
He'd say happy birthday to you on, what was it, Good Morning America, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And now the oldest person in the world is like 112. We got people that are 100 everywhere. You got people that, I mean, literally could have been retired for 55 years and still kicking along, man.
Green Thunder to Mighty says, me and my friend shot actual BB guns at each other. What fun back in the Hey, that's how me and my buddies, we played Cowboys and Indians that way. That way there was none of this. You missed me. No, you didn't. You knew if you got hit.
Yep. I hope she's the only one that talks like that. If your kids did, they would be concerning. I was talking about my grandkids, though.
Yeah.
Pay attention.
Yeah.
Turning 100 is still a big deal. Not like it was. Not like it was. Used to hear somebody turned 100, like, wow. And now it's like, oh, all right. There's a lot more 100-year-olds than there used to be. Modern medicine, it's a great thing.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful thing. Oldest Austin resident smoked cigar and drank a liter of Jack a day and died at 102. The worst story I've ever heard about an old person like this was a lady in France. And she was the oldest person in the world at one point. And I want to say she was like 107, 109, something like that. And she smoked every day of her life until she went blind after she was 100 years old. And then people wouldn't light her cigarettes for her, so she stopped smoking. I'm like, you motherfuckers stopped a 100-year-old from smoking?
Yeah.
You sons of bitch. How much do you hate smoking?
Yeah, because
I mean-
at that age, what do you got? You know?
Yeah. The idea that you're going to punish an old person like that, be like, no, sorry, your vice here, it's going to kill you. They're fucking 100, you dumbass. Yeah, like, you suck. How much older would they have been if they hadn't smoked or drank? Right. That's always the thing. And look, that's not to say smoking is good or it's good for you. You should do it. I don't think any of those things.
No.
Actually, if you smoke, stop if you can. It's not good for you.
Oh, absolutely. Wished I could quit. I work in a smoke shop, people, and I still think it's it's not good for you.
But that doesn't mean it's the horror it's been painted to be either.
No.
There are people who smoke, their whole fucking lives and live great old lives.
Yeah. I mean, I had a doctor once that said, some people can smoke, get away with it. Some people can't.
Yeah. It's not something you should do, though.
No.
I wouldn't recommend drinking a liter of Jack a day either. Fuck, man. That liver must have been pickled the fuck.
Oh, Lord.
I'm pickle liver. Cancer in general has a genetic factor and then develops in susceptible people from an environment / lifestyle hit. Yeah. That's been shown. And they also, I mean, every time they do a smoking survey, they never would look at the rest of their lifestyle. Like, how else do you live? And in general, smokers aren't the healthiest people. And not because they smoke, because they drink more. They're less apt to be in shape. They eat horrible shit that you should never put in your body.
Yeah.
And all of these things factor into it. Like, no, smoking. Like, oh, for fuck's sake. My dad stopped smoking because he went on oxygen. Yeah, it's a good time to do it.
Yeah, that's go boom.
My uncle got put on oxygen, and he would take his oxygen off, go outside, smoke, and come back in and put it back on.
I have my cousin's wife, who lives a couple of blocks away from me, has had cancer and all this, and if she goes out in public, she has to wear a surgical mask. And you'll drive by their house and see her out next to the road out there smoking with her surgical mask pulled down.
Yeah, my uncle, he only made it about a year after he started wearing oxygen. Like, really? There's a fucking shock. He was a great guy, which is sad because he really was a nice guy. He's pretty much the only uncle on my dad's side that I knew very well growing up.
Yeah.
He used to come over to the house, and his son was about our age, so we'd play together, and he'd come out and hang out with my dad. He was my dad's older brother, and he was a really nice guy. Life had beaten him up, though, man. He'd been divorced from 3 women, all with the same name.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah, like, maybe you should. He married women named Sharon. Divorced and fucked over by all 3 of them. And like, maybe you should stay away from that name, man.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there.
Married.
Yeah, he was a good guy. Yeah, it was sad, but I mean, once you go on oxygen, that is a good time to stop smoking.
Yep.
Or maybe you're just like, all right, I'm done. It's not the oxygen that burns; it's the tubing that burns, and the oxygen feeds the fire.
Yeah. Yeah, true enough. But regardless, it's still a risk to go boom.
Was her name bitch? That's what he called him. Yeah. All right, Blood. I know I've only had you on for a few minutes, but I thank you for coming and hanging out. I'm gonna go hang out with the little one.
Absolutely.
She's her mom's working, her grandma's working, her dad's probably taking care of the baby, so she needs some attention. And I'm happy to give it. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming and hanging out. I appreciate it. And I know this was a long one, so I appreciate you hanging in there with me. A little bored this morning. Not getting sleep, man. That sucks. It just ruins my fucking day. But thank you so very much for the donations. You guys are very, very generous, and I cannot thank you enough. Blood, is there anything you want to show?
No, other than since I'll be home Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, there will be a Redneck Radio 2:30 EST. So check that out.
All right. Tonight we are on, this is Monday, right? Satsu 2 Cents' channel for Lords of the Night at 9 p.m. Eastern. Then we're over on 2 Cents Plus for some 7 Days to Die fun. We're finishing building this base, and we're going to give it a tryout in the big theater. So come check that out. It's a lot of fun. Our last Horde night was a disaster. It's the only way to describe it. And hopefully this one goes better. So come hang out with us and see if you enjoy the bants we got going. But thank you guys for joining me. Blood, thank you for hanging out. Everybody, have a great day. We'll see you next time.
See you guys.
Don't get